Welcome to another episode of Bussin With The Boys. I am your host, Will Compton. We have an electric factory of a podcast today. Ryan Whitney joins the bus. Obviously, me, Taylor, and Ryan, we're all on the bus. Ryan Whitney is the co-host of Spittin Chiclets, NHL legend, some say, some argue about. He was on the Olympic team, won a Stanley Cup, part of a lot of different stuff. Then obviously went to... got demoted down to the minors and then went over to Russian. He tells some awesome KHL Russian stories. But the dude's all time, man. Fucking hilarious. Northeastern, strong accent. Him and Taylor double team me and chirp me for a while. I got a little rattled. I'm not going to lie. First half, they had me a little bit. But I bounced back in the second half. I kept, I couldn't keep my composure. I think that's ultimately what happened. When you get to where you yell and try and, I went into their world. You know what I'm saying, JP?
You did. And you were yelling.
Instead of saying staying zen, instead of being letting it kind of roll off,
But like you said, you gained your composure.
Yeah.
You got back on track.
Yeah.
And you succeeded.
You gotta smile through the bullshit, man.
Right.
But no, it was a really fun episode, man. We get into a lot of good stuff. Again, Ryan's all time. Before we get into it, this episode is brought to you by the most dependable, durable, and reliable vehicle on the road, the Chevy Silverado. It is strong and dependable, just like the people who drive them, the lunch pail workers, those blue collar boys out there. I almost cussed. I stopped myself. That was a nice pull. It's modern, advanced with a ton of grit, a partner in getting things done, and especially when it comes to the heart and soul of a pickup truck, the bed. Let me tell you guys about this. The most functional bed of any competitor out there in the world. Best in class standard cargo volume. The inner gate folds down to a large step for easily getting in and out of the bed. Available industry first power up down tailgate. Let me reread that for you guys. Available industry first power up down tailgate. It's the first one in the industry, boys. It's also available the multi-flex tailgate that we've been telling you about with 6 different configurations. All of this makes the bed of the Silverado work harder and smarter for those lunch pail guys out there driving the Chevys. And if you're not one, you need to become one. Chevy is also sponsoring Coach Prime. Catch it Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Coach Deion Sanders, for those of you who don't know who Coach Prime is, Deion Sanders, arguably the best athlete of all time. He does this, he's got a documentary on Tuesdays and Thursdays on YouTube about him coaching Jackson State. It's actually pretty dope. I started watching the other night. I'm about to jump into episode 3 tonight. But again, Chevy Silverado, strong, advanced, dependable, and hardworking. Go to your local dealership. Let them know that the boys sent you. We saw a tier 1 out there. He let us know he just bought a Chevy for the boys. And I think he got something for free. I think
I heard it was another truck, but
that allegedly we heard he got another truck for free, but that's just hearsay stuff. We don't want to quote him. But yeah, man. So getting into the episode, Ryan Whitney. I do have an announcement because I've been huge. You guys know the boy is huge on the Whistle Pig, piggyback rye smash cocktails in a can. But I have a new number 1, and it is now it's the Blackberry Lemon Fizz. The reason it went from number 3 to number 1 is I was tough on it in the beginning. The Blackberry Fizz, the Blackberry Lemon Fizz, I was tough on it because I drank it kind of straight out of the box when they first sent it to us. So it was a little warm, a little cool. It wasn't that good. I had them things iced out the other day at the baby shower, which that went tremendous, by the way. We got showered with gifts, showered with piggyback rice smash, and it was a great time. Then we went and yugged some beers at the hockey game, me, Taylor, and the boys. But yeah, Blackberry Lemon Fizz is now my number 1. Fresh Ginger Lime has now went to the 2 spot. Citrus Mid is sitting down there at the 3rd spot. But obviously, we'll be shouting out what's picked throughout the episode. I just wanted to say that before we get into this. Now, Ryan Whitney, Bussin With The Boys. Subscribe, leave a live comment. Everybody in the chat right now, go leave a live comment. Appreciate y'all, boys. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Hey, so go ahead. What were you just saying about Whistle Pig Rye Whiskey?
So my brother gave me a bottle for my birthday, and I didn't, I don't know a ton about whiskey, but I was like, oh shit, and I love it. I love it.
Did he get you the 6-year?
He got me this exact bottle. Was my birthday.
Bro, they got a 10-year as well, and this Boss Hog, which we haven't had yet.
We gotta try the Boss Hog.
You guys
I cannot wait to get the Boss
Is that
Hog.
your own mixture?
Just my own little elixir. Don't worry about this.
It's a Whistle Pig elixir.
That's an NFL drink right there.
Yeah.
No doubt. So I stay on my toes all
Pink
day,
Whitney.
man. This thing's kind of a hitter. So
Let's get
While
one
we're
in,
while we're
dude.
gonna try this, tell us what the deal is with these things. How'd that get started?
Do you want to wait for the pod or you want to do it right now? Or we already start the pod?
Hey,
pod's
see those
on.
numbers
I
running?
love that.
That's how you know it's going.
Hey, cheers, boys.
Pink Whitney was 1 in a million, but we can do a cheers right now.
1 in a billion,
1 in a
dude.
billion.
3 commas. I'll tell you what. I thought that was like more of like a mixer drink.
No. So a
That's
lot of
straight
people.
vodka to the head,
Hey,
bro.
So Taylor,
In my head, I was like, "Oh, mixer
a
drink,
lot of
gonna be
people have come up
delicious."
to me and said,
Put that thing down like a fucking house, though, dude.
that's what they've said. I ended up buckled. I was blacked out one night. I thought it was a mixed drink. I'm like, no, dude, that's straight vodka. Now, granted, I think it's 30% as opposed to.
So it's not straight.
It's 30% instead of 40, right? Usually it's 40,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
because of the flavor, they
Oh,
get
I
the
get the
30%.
alcohol.
But it's not mixed. It's not like a mixed drink. It's just straight up vodka.
So it's just infused.
Exactly.
So how did it come alive?
So it came alive because we got sponsored by New Amsterdam. Shout out New Amsterdam Vodka. Became the
Go for
presenting
shout-outs.
sponsor of our show, which was a huge deal. Like you guys know, it's like
Whistle
all right,
Pig, listen up to this.
yeah,
dude.
Whistle Pig. Exactly.
listen.
So every episode should be welcome to Bussin With The Boys. Bussin With The Boys.
Hey, that's a crazy weird deal just now. You didn't know it?
What is this?
I knew it was the boys on the boss. I don't know, boys.
Yeah, we had a guy on here one time saying it's busting in the boys, and that's definitely like
That
the
ain't
road
good.
we're not trying to go
That ain't
down.
good. You're not busting
Yeah.
in the boys.
Yeah.
But it should be welcome to Bussin With The Boys, presented by Whistle Pig.
Yeah.
So New Amsterdam they came on and they were boom, every episode presented by New Amsterdam. And then the first episode, I've told this story a bunch, but I got new listeners here.
Yeah, hell yeah, you do.
And
So many.
they said, yeah, so many, millions, Bussin With
I
The
think
Boys.
we had like
Bussin'
42
in the
million
boys.
last podcast, last body.
So they said, will you just kind of all of you guys organically talk about your favorite vodka drinks just so that, we're talking about New Amsterdam. And I think, I don't remember the order, but RA said vodka Red Bull, or Biz said vodka soda, Granelli said vodka on the rocks. And I just said, oh, since I've been drinking, I have been drinking pink lemonade vodka. It's the best drink. I used to drink pink lemonade when I was 11 years old at the movies, like a little nerd. And then I just kept going and going. All of a sudden I could start drink. I just mixed pink lemonade with the vodka. And like, to everyone's surprise, we just started getting like tweet after tweet after tweet of, I actually shouted out Newman's own pink lemonade. Paul Newman's got that. I said, that's the one I always mix it with. So people were sending me New Amsterdam bottles with Newman's own. On and on and on and on. Where Biz, kind of like the business mind of our group, he said, we got to make
That's
a
the
drink.
name.
We got to make a drink. We have to let's do this. I was like, dude, nobody's going to buy a drink Pink Whitney. A couple people wrote, oh, it's Pink Whitney, Pink Whitney. Finally, it was Halloween and we were driving with my
Best day of the year?
my wife. Yeah, I was dressed up as a Starbucks
month of the year.
barista, dude. I
Were
was
you
a
really?
Starbucks barista. I looked
Yo,
unbelievable.
Hey, that's a
Edition
great
pumpkin spice
fucking
lattes.
Oh,
costume.
buddy, I had the fro coming out, and I was like, I'm a legit. I'm like a crazy. Those Starbucks baristas are kind of weird usually. I was
Yeah,
one of those weirdos.
Always spell the name wrong.
Yeah, and like maybe like
Easy, like,
one
bend, they
weird
put, like, 6
tattoo,
ends.
like on the
Yeah.
neck and the wrist. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
those,
yeah.
And I was telling my wife the whole story, and the whole time I'm telling no, Biz, no one's gonna buy a drink with my name on it. That's foolish. And then she said, well, why don't you try to make this drink? And I was like, oh shit, if you're saying this and Biz is saying this, I called him up. Next thing you know, he called Barstool, Erica hooked it up, and this happened. So it's like, it makes no sense. It's
No,
crazy.
it makes a lot of sense, actually.
It really doesn't though, because I'm an absolute joke, and now there's a drink with my name on it.
Hey, speaking of jokes, so I typed in Ryan Whitney on
Hey,
YouTube,
this better hit.
bro.
Speaking of jokes, I got a little one. 3 guys walking to
No,
a
no,
bar,
no,
right?
no.
Racist.
The video on YouTube is just 5 minutes of Ryan Whitney being a clown on the ice, and it's him getting smoked and getting in fights.
Yeah,
Oh,
people
dude.
always go
You
at
said
me.
You didn't fight when we were talking outside earlier.
I think I would say I had 5 career fights,
yeah.
and I was probably 1 in 4. I did pound one guy. I won one
1 in
fight.
4.
I won one fight. The rest of them, maybe a couple of them were ties, a couple of them were tough losses, but I won one. It was in the playoffs.
Easy
I'll
win.
take it.
Dude, there was one time.
Easy win.
Clapping
And a
the
tough
sticks
guy,
on the
and a tough
boards like
guy,
they
too,
fucking
who's
got
a
his ass.
lefty. He was a
No
lefty.
shit.
But he hit Crosby, and if anyone touched Crosby, it was like
Doesn't
game
matter
on.
who it is, it's
Game
gotta
on.
go.
It could be you. I'd still have to go. I'd
That's
take a
a tough
beating,
deal.
but Jesus Christ.
They showed one where
Well, hey, listen, I want to know what happened. Like, do you tear the jersey over the guy's head or what?
I ended up getting him down. Oh, is this the 5-minute clip? I've seen this YouTube. It's just me. Oh, so
yo,
this
there was
guy-
one. They go on a
so this
breakaway.
guy- I'm in the way left of the picture right
Yeah,
now.
he's not even close to
This guy's been trying to beat me up since 2000.
Bro.
I'm not kidding you.
Bro, I
This
open
guy
this
was-
video and this is the
No,
first
wait
thing I
till you
see.
it.
I'm just
There's
like,
a
oh,
picture.
man.
I'm down. He has the jersey over my head. You can't see my head. This guy had been chasing me around since we were both 18 years old. This was when we were 33. And he
What's his
finally
name?
got me. Tim Jackman. We actually got him on the pod one time. He always wanted to kill me. And in this game, he decided, I'm going to kill this kid.
Out of nowhere, you weren't even in the frame there.
So I passed the puck. I was backing up and I passed the puck. And he's chasing me. And usually, you know, once I pass the puck, he's going to turn back up ice. This isn't good. Yeah, this isn't good.
Hey, this is
Thanks, guys.
tough. This is tough deal.
Appreciate this.
This is what
Appreciate
it's
this.
like when you say "Bussin' With The Boys" wrong, right?
Hey, and
This is kind of like the situation.
yeah.
This is what you're gonna do to me when I say busting in the boys.
Hey, whoa,
Hey,
shit,
another
guys.
one. He
So,
gets.
I need to know more about this, dude, because you got them wobbly legs when you walked up.
Oh no,
Were you
I
seeing
was
stars or what?
I don't even remember that. All I remember is the fact that I passed the puck, and most of the time the guy that's coming at me is going to turn and head back up ice.
Yeah.
No, instead he kept coming. I'm like, oh fuck! And next thing you know, I have my jersey over my head, and he's punching my lights out. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And then I saw the video, I saw the picture. There's one still image that's like legendary in terms of like my life being legendary. I'm not
Yeah.
very legendary, and
There's
it's
a guy with a multi-million-dollar bottle named after him.
It's a tough pick. It's a tough pick.
What do you mean
I
it's a
might
tough pick?
trade. I might trade the vodka with my name on it to not have this picture on the internet. There it is. And my right hand. So I'm into golf. I love golf. I remember being like, "Oh my god, he's gonna step on my hand," and I lifted my hand up, cut my fingers off.
That's
So I got two boys. At some point, I'm gonna say, "Boys, yeah, this is your old man right here getting his head punched in by Tim
That's
Jackman."
tough. Hey, there's a picture of me that I could probably go without too, but I don't have a bottle to give up. Just me fucking conkied on the ground.
No,
Out.
Body bagged, bro.
Legs flopped out like flippers.
Then he gets in the
Um,
cries.
you
Oh, yeah, I
crying?
started crying. I got knocked out
'Cause you-
cold.
yeah, so you didn't. I had one concussion.
That's when I tore my ACL.
Hey,
Chill, chill.
That's it.
No,
no,
he
no,
tore
no,
his
no,
ACL on that one.
Oh,
That
geez.
one,
Yeah, that's
bro.
me right there.
In the blue.
Oh, would you get blocked or something?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, sleep, dude. Night.
So I had one concussion. I was younger. I think I was 15. And I actually woke up crying. So I'm guessing
Yeah.
maybe you didn't know, right? Did you kind of?
No.
Yeah, I came to it. I was bawling,
It was a
crying.
weird
I didn't
deal.
know.
We threw an interception. I'm like trying to chase it down. I was back then, about 4 years ago. I'm all about getting the tackles on an INT, get them stats up.
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
offensive lineman, you don't really have.
baby,
Yeah.
contract.
Oh, guy's a hustle guy through and through. So I'm chasing this thing and I'm looking. The ball's coming this way, and I'm kind of like using the sideline to my advantage. Shut the fuck up, bro.
He's already
You
laughing.
know.
You in the sideline
Bro,
description,
I'm
you always
using,
tell.
I'm in the meetings too with the defensive team meetings. So I'm using the
sideline.
fucker. You gotta relax, guy. I'm using the sideline. I'm like going back, and this dude hits me, and I like do the neck whip and then flop, and I go to sleep, and all of a sudden a big fight breaks out between the Dolphins and the Titans, and I wake up, and I'm kind of like also trying to fight, but
But you don't know what's going on.
I don't know,
Yeah,
what's
Bambi,
up, what's
Bambi.
down, exactly. And they're like, "Hey Taylor, like it's fine, like just sit down." I'm like, "No, I got like guys are fighting, like I gotta get in there." And they're like, "No, you got knocked out." And I was like,
Well, they're
"What?"
fighting because of you.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, "No, I didn't." And then I just start fucking bawling, crying. I go to sit on the bench and I'm crying. And our center Ben Jones comes up with like one of those like hand towels and just like puts it over my head and like kind of leaves me alone.
Like, hey
Out of
man, the
respect for
camera's on you, bro.
Exactly. And yeah, this is me getting up and like trying to like I'm out.
Oh, that was you right
Yeah,
there?
that was me right
Oh,
there.
So you actually were like, people wouldn't know if they were watching that you had no
That's
clue what's going on.
out.
Oh, that's scary.
Out and then right up. And then
Oh.
what are we going?
Oh.
Not really aware of where I was at that point.
Yeah, but almost in your mind, you think it was don't lay down, get up.
Yeah, it must be. It must have been.
It's like ingrained.
Because I remember getting hit and I remember then all of a sudden I was up.
How many
So-
games did you miss after that?
One. I missed
Most
one.
people are like 8
Well,
weeks.
I got
like,
put in
I
a-
missed half a game.
Yeah.
Holy
Football's
shit.
a little different.
What year was that?
2019. This is the longest game in NFL history. We played
Bro,
Miami.
it was brutal.
What,
We
it
went in the
went-
locker room,
went
what,
whole-
different times?
Just over. Well, wouldn't the longest game be a tie?
No, because there's so many. This is tough. But you're gonna do the same thing to us with hockey in a second, so it's all good.
I know. I don't know.
So, like,
shit
with
about
football-
football.
Isn't it a tie?
When
I
there's
mean, are you talking longest, like on the clock in real life? Or,
There was a
no,
storm,
60
so it
minutes
had to
is as long
stop.
as the game can go.
oh, there was a storm.
There's a storm, so like there kept being like lightning warnings or thunder and lightning warnings. I guess it's just thunder is not a dangerous thing, but the lightning is the dangerous thing.
Yeah.
So if it's within a certain mileage of where we're playing, we all have to go inside and like evacuate. They have to
Like golf.
evacuate. I assume so.
Yeah.
I don't really
Like,
play. I don't
You
really clap
strike
them.
me as a golfer, but
Really?
yeah. If there's lightning in the air, you're back to the
You don't see
clubhouse.
the hat?
Oh shit!
You like that thing?
The flamingo.
You're not a
golf club.
golfer. What do you?
Put me on the course.
He said the hat,
Bro,
No,
Yeah,
people
you
with
like
hand
that, huh?
tattoos play golf. That isn't
That's
a
not
golf
true
thing.
because you
But
wear a glove. So it doesn't matter. You're not going to see my hand tattoos anyway.
one of them, you wear a glove on one of them.
No, not me. I wear them on both of them.
How long was the delay of that game?
9 hours.
What?
It was a noon game. I think we got home at like 9 at night, right?
Holy
Yeah, but the
shit.
game wasn't 9 hours, right?
It was 7.5 hours.
7.5 hours. Thank you, Jack.
I mean, I was there
I was
too.
honking, dude.
I was crying, man. What was
Yeah.
on?
Dude,
And
I
I
started up in the locker room.
We had another
Taylor's
like
just chilling in the locker room when he's, you know,
Yeah.
when we had to get
Were
the
you begging
storm.
to go back in that game?
yeah, because I was like, oh, I'm good
I'm
now.
fine. Yeah, I know.
So I walk out during like the second or third like lightning warning, and some dude, I'm like outside kind of looking around, and some guy's like, you fucking bitch. You're a fucking bitch, 77.
A fan?
A fan. He's like 3-5 rows up. And I look at him and I'm like, don't fucking sit. And I start crying again, dude. And Delaney Walker,
I
our
got
tight
to
end.
I got to
He
that
comes
loser.
grabs me. He's like, what the fuck you doing? I was just like grabbing me, like, what are we doing, buddy? It was a tough gig. Tough
Yeah,
life.
shit, man. And you're
Yeah.
still doing it. I
Well,
got,
yeah,
I got
listen.
props to both you
I
guys.
feel like once a
NFL,
year.
Holy shit. I watch NFL every Sunday, and I can't believe what you guys go through.
Yeah,
it's
but
insane. It's
But it isn't
insane.
hockey. Hockey, how many games do you play? 86 games?
82.
82 games?
But it's just different.
7
Every
game series?
single play, especially your job, it's just boom, boom, contact. It's like you can go a whole game in hockey without getting hit. Especially now with how the game's changed, it's way less physical. I feel like football maybe is changing, maybe a little less physical now.
Yeah, it's definitely changing
Or
from
like
like the 90s,
soft-
2000s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But hockey now, I mean, you get a penalty for hits now in hockey that would have been nothing. Which I guess in football now you see some calls, you're like, wait a minute, that's roughing.
Dude, they get
Yeah.
ejected from the game. If
Yeah,
they,
that's
if they
what
hit 'em up
sucks.
high.
Some clean hits too. You get
Yeah.
ejected when I'm watching football.
Yeah.
And same with hockey, but
You think hockey's getting softer?
I do. I think it's gotten way softer.
Now, do you think it's way softer or a little softer and you're like that generation?
well, I
Because
hate
it always,
being the
every
guy.
10 years, there's that guy that says,
I know.
these fucking guys don't care. They're soft now, this, that, and the other.
And the problem for me saying that is I wasn't, a tough player. Like that wasn't my game. I was kind of more skill. And so for me to be like the guy,
Solid flex.
yeah, exactly. A little flex. I can
Yeah.
pass the puck.
Yeah.
But I
Don't like
don't.
Biz.
Biz has zero skill. Biz is the guy who could say it's a pussy game now because he was out there fighting. He was out there going through that. Whereas if I were to be the guy like this game's so soft, people would be like, dude, you weren't even hard when you played. You know?
But you were 1-4.
But in still in the fact like that I witnessed hits that would now be like guys get suspended and then it wasn't even a penalty. I can say the game has gotten softer.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's like it's been good for the game because all this skill is shown now, and you see all these players that are maybe wouldn't have been in the league before that are so skillful, and you can see these amazing plays and highlights. But you do miss the old like everyone stands up in the arena for goals and fights, and there
Yeah.
aren't that many fights anymore.
Yeah, the fights are like my favorite thing as a
Fights are
fan
incredible.
watching.
If you go to a hockey game, and I've long said. I've been to 3 NFL games in person, 2 Steelers games when I was on the Penguins, and a Patriots game. They lost like 4 home games in 20 years, the Patriots. One of them I was at.
Yeah,
But
tough
it's
deal.
a made-for-TV game, I feel like football is, personally, with all the timeouts and the stoppages. Hockey's made to be seen in person. Hockey's
so
hockey-
fucking
No
awesome.
question about that.
you go to a game, you're like, holy shit. And when you go to a game and see a fight, I mean, my mother-in-law goes and she doesn't know anything about hockey. She's like, oh my God, like she's standing up cheering for fights. So I wish there was more. I also am happy guys aren't dealing with certain concussion issues, but fights are legit
Dude.
electric in hockey.
Yeah,
We're
dude.
still
It's,
talking about fights before I forget this story because I was wanting to say it earlier. But when
yeah,
you
you,
got
gotta,
like,
you gotta get your word count up.
yeah, he got like his.
You're getting dummied right now.
He got. Here we go.
This guy's a
My
fucking,
man gets.
fucking wagon, dude. This fucking guy.
He gets like duck raped one play
What?
because he like bag taps Ovechkin.
I got fined.
Were
Funny-
you trying to do that?
No, I wasn't actually.
I mean, you lifted your
yeah, I
shit. It
knew
looked pretty
Russia was going
intentional.
to invade Ukraine 20 years later, so I speared him. But
He lifts his bucket, fucking hits him in the nuts, bro. Drops him.
No.
Everybody rushes him and just duck rapes him.
No shit.
well, but luckily I didn't actually
The old
that
duck
game
rape.
get beat up. I didn't. Nobody. I meant to kind of get my stick between his legs to try to like hold him from getting to the net. By accident, got him in the nuts. Got fined. When I got the call from the disciplinary head, he said, "At least you got the right guy." Which I was like, oh shit. I'm like, if that made the news now, I mean, there was no Twitter then or anything, but they were not a fan. Yeah, right there. It was totally by accident. Look, I'm like, oh shit, somebody's gonna dummy me right now. star rookie Alexander Ovechkin got him right in the nuts. He was screaming too. He's like, "Oh,
What's he screaming for?"
Billet. Screaming Russian swear words. But I got
So when
fined
did they fuck
$2,500
you up?
for that.
Oh, here it goes.
Which was like the max fine. But nothing happened there. And I didn't get kicked out of the game or
your
anything. I
boys
got
were
lucky.
there.
Yeah, all my boys came in. That's team game. Oh, somebody's got my jersey over my head. That was my issue. Somebody always got the jersey over my
Some
bucket.
tape on the back,
Yeah, no
dude.
shit.
You had to put some tape like a hook or something. Look at him.
Oh.
Dude, the tinted visor. Here's a big opposite in hockey instead of hockey and NFL. If you have a visor in the NFL, that's like a saucy thing. That's a really dope, like swaggy
Well,
thing.
you have to be a receiver, I feel like.
No. No, you
Not
don't.
Taylor.
You have one?
I wear a tinted visor. Oh, dude, hey.
I was just gonna say no offensive linemen have that.
Swagoo, my guy, dude.
They'll try and wear like
It's
little
like
running
raining
back
every time I
shoes
put a uniform on.
sometimes.
I had so much drip.
Did you
dude.
get something in the eye, or did you just do it for the looks?
Looks.
100% the
I
look.
love it. I love
Put it
it.
up. The darkie. Where's that thing at?
Wow. So are you the only offensive lineman in the
No,
league that
there's
had?
a
No,
dozen.
Trent Williams.
Really?
Trent Williams, Jason Peters.
Only the stars. Only the stars.
There's
We
probably
open
a
the
handful of guys. But anyway, the hockey thing, there's a bunch of guys that, well, now you have to wear visors all the time.
That's a good drip right there.
Where's that? Show me.
That one, yeah, that's legit.
That's a nice one. That's not even my darkest visor either, my guy. Come on.
That's because it was a day game.
No, I'm all dark all the time.
You got to go through like a big process to even get it.
It's a really hard
You
process
can't
to get
choose
it. Yeah.
Like I would try and
Wait,
go to the
what?
60%ers, but sometimes you'll get fined if they'll get you in off to switch them on at halftime or something. So, but
If
hey,
it's
yours is
too
too dark.
dark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why would that affect? Why would they care if the
If
visor?
you're concussed and they got to see your eyes,
Oh,
it's
no
like a
shit.
medical thing.
Really?
They come up on you and they can't see your eyes or nothing like that, and they're trying to get like your mouthpiece out or some shit. They don't want it to be
Ironically,
dark. They want to be
I
able to
don't wear a
see your
mouthpiece,
eyes.
so it's all good.
I never did either.
Really?
I never did either.
Is
Yeah.
that what you were about to say?
No, I was actually going to say that I think in the NHL, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that you can't have. There's a darkness thing for the tint as well, because Ovechkin in the Olympics one year, he had the straight up like Oakley sunglasses where you see reflection in the visor.
No
Mirror
shit.
one?
But then it wasn't allowed in the NHL.
Well, that video you just showed, he had a smoked out visor.
Yeah, like I don't. But that's international play. That's his Russia uni. That's the one that is not allowed in the NHL, and that's an international tournament. That's why he's the CCM covered in red tape at the front of the helmet. So that's not allowed in NHL play, which ironically, like I don't know why,
Yeah, that's weird.
but I guess it makes sense in terms of like medical why they want to see their eyes for concussions, so Taylor's not crying during the game.
Yeah. or after, or any in between.
Really,
Or
anytime.
when you watch it like a
Anytime of the
sunset
day.
commercial, I'm the same way.
So why did they change the rule in the NHL to where you have to go from bucket, now you have to wear a visor?
I don't know. That was just kind of like as everything gets a little softer, it was. I don't necessarily like disagree with it. I love not wearing a visor. I came into the league. So when I came into the league, if you had a visor on, you were a
Soft.
coward.
Soft.
That was
yeah.
that's what it was. And so you look at like Martin St. Louis, now the coach of the Canadians, but Hall of Fame player, unbelievable. He's like 5'7", maybe even 5'6". He came into the NHL and like Calgary Flames let him go. And he had nothing on his face. And because I think he knew like I can't do it. And so over time, like Brian Berard was a player, first overall pick. He lost his eye. There's been some issues where it's kind of like, all right, well, if you can still play at a high level with a visor on, it protects your eyes. Let's maybe make it a rule. But there's a few guys left who are grandfathered in. Ryan Getzlaff's one in Anaheim. I can't think of the others. But now if you come into the NHL, you got to wear a visor. And when I went to the AHL on the way down, as I got, my career ended, I had to put one on. And I was like, holy shit, this is bizarre. Same thing I went to play in Europe and Russia, had to wear one. I got used to it, but I did love the fact that I didn't have one for a long time.
Yeah.
Because you just feel like, I actually remember being younger and going to NHL games and, you grow up with the cage and you're like, I can't wait to have nothing on. I want to make the NHL and just throw the helmet on. There's no cage, you got a button.
Take it, put it on, you're good.
I remember going out for games and just being like, boop, like old school. You're like, I'm playing.
Feeling like the fucking man.
Exactly. So that's changed amongst many other things. But I think in the end, it's probably for the better because guys still fight with them on.
Mhm.
Now, though, when I came into the league, you'd square off with a guy. I never squared off. That was another thing. Of my 5 fights, they were all out of like something that happened in the game. You know, the real tough guys like Biz, he would square off. That's like the panic of like, I'm in a fight. But you used to just be able to take your helmet off. Say one guy had a visor on, you didn't. All right, let's both take them off so I don't hit your visor.
Right.
Now you can't take your helmet off before
In a fight?
No, they've changed it. So like you can't square off, take the helmet off, and then go. You take the helmet off, the refs come flying in. Stupid rule.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous rule. It's like the taunting rule in the NFL we talked about before we on this podcast.
The rules in the NFL are a fucking
Wild
nightmare.
You say as much as you want, we'll get fined. But you say as much as you want.
Control the end of a game now is just fucking crazy.
It's crazy. It's like you're watching good games and then you see these calls by these fools and it's like, and gambling on the games. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? These idiots. Now, let me ask you two, why can't they be full-time employees?
I don't know. I think
that is so dumb.
That's where it's headed, I think.
The refs?
Yeah, they're not. They're like lawyers.
They're like lawyers and school teachers and shit. Yeah.
Like just make them refs. Like that's your job. It's not their job.
And there's got to be some sort of fitness that they have to like meet. Some sort of
like
fitness
the
requirement.
Hawkeye
Like they got to be able to run a mile in 7 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever it is. What'd you say?
Ty said, tell them about your combine.
You got a ref combine
I
idea?
wanted the refs to go through like a combine.
Oh,
like a
yeah.
test.
They need to go through like a whole fitness test because there was a game in the playoffs.
Dallas.
It was Dallas versus San Francisco, and Dallas ran a quarterback draw. Now, the play itself, probably an iffy call to do with that, like only 18 seconds left yet. Yeah. But they put the ball down, and then they went to go snap it, but the ref has to touch the ball after it's a first down. So he has to go touch the ball. He grabs the ball, backs it up, but all that time he spent running from behind the play to there was like an ungodly amount of time that they might have got one more playoff or clocked it. And then had another play a situation where they go verts or I don't know shit about.
So the ref being a slob basically cost them.
Well, I'm not going to say that because that guy's going to ref one of my games.
Hey, but also
ref one of my games.
Hey, Dallas
and
was
he's going to
sloppy
shake my hand and
too.
go, slob, huh?
You think he's a Bussin' With The Boys listener?
I think everybody's a Bussin' With The Boys listener. That's how you got to fucking live. You know what I'm saying, Whit?
Yeah, I do.
That shit happen.
I
you got to believe.
Oh,
you
shit.
said you are now?
I didn't know the name going in. I'll never miss an episode now. I promise, boys.
Yeah, I really doubt that, but I appreciate it. I appreciate that it's starting now.
It said you got awesome your U.S. developmental school stories.
I wouldn't.
Getting kicked out of.
I got kicked out of my billets.
Can we do another one of these real quick before we jump into that?
This episode is also brought to you by Cross Country Mortgage. Shout out the boys. No free shout outs. Does Will have all the answers? Sometimes. Does Taylor? Sometimes. A little less, but sometimes. But in a complicated world, it's hard to know who to trust. But when it comes to your mortgage, there's only one answer, and that's the boys at Cross Country Mortgage. They have flexible loan lengths, a crazy amount of dedicated loan officers, and even guaranteed closing, meaning they pay the daily closing fees. Cross Country Mortgage has a team of loan officers dedicated to getting you the best possible loan terms available. They've got a wide variety of loan types, which means they've got everything to cover everyone. Also, some exciting news. They're giving away free Barstool and Cross Country Mortgage sweatshirts when you sign up to refi or get pre-approval while supplies last. In a world where even the pros rarely agree, you can trust the boys and girls at Cross Country Mortgage. With an average closing time of 21 days, they've got everything to cover everyone. Go to ccm.com/barstool so Cross Country Mortgage can take care of you throughout the entire buying process. Cross Country Mortgage, LLC, NMLS 3029, all loans subject to underwriting approval, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org.
Shout out Pink Whitney
Hey,
on
they
New
kinda
Amsterdam
hurt.
vodka.
Jackie Garrett, boys.
You can get it at your local liquor
Is
store.
this straight too?
We're trying to
that
go.
we're able to do it?
MB knows. We went.
That was almost a
Piggy?
JP deal.
We went
there.
deer hunting.
We got
Piggy?
two more. Pass this to
We good to do this with our boys?
Filthy.
We went deer hunting. We're going after Jaeger. Cheers, guys.
Where do you go hunting at?
We're going after Jaeger, deer hunting.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to take them down. Cheers,
First time I
boys.
ever threw up in my life was Jaeger.
Mm-hmm. First time I ever threw up was at that national development program. I drank a bottle of Bacardi. Senior high school. I've never had a sip since. Because I could not imagine what I went through after that.
It's better.
But yeah, it does. It's a nice
really
little,
good.
People are like, "Oh, you bitch, you have a pink vodka." I'm like, "You think I give a fuck? The checks are clear and brown. Care what color it is." I'm like, what are you talking about?
dude.
Fucking think I care? It's pink. My face is pink when I get sun on it. But I got I was lucky enough to get invited to that program, which was a big deal. It started in '99. I went in '01 or '02, and 2000 I went. And you're playing with the best players in the country. You're living in Ann Arbor, Michigan. If this guy's dogging the vodka right now and having to take a chase,
No, get the fuck out of here,
this
dude.
guy's mixing it with like.
Give me another one.
Yeah,
Give me another one.
body
Take it and sit
armor,
there.
Are you
water, and whistle
babysitting the
pig.
fucking little shot?
Dude, hey, all right, first off, Will, you've said 6 words in 25 minutes. I don't want to fucking hear you come with the
Crazy
truth
how
right
people
now,
are just
dude.
laughing at that.
Ain't
I
that
can't help
wild?
that I'm a better listener.
Do you think they laugh at his jokes?
There's a shot for me to tell a story. Let me tell my story.
Hey, if you want to be a listener,
For the fourth time, I got knocked out in Miami, man. I was fucking.
2 years.
I got up. I was crying.
Double the amount of your
Yeah.
time.
Listen, if you want to be a listener, go subscribe. We'll fucking finish the podcast here, dude. We're all good.
You got to catch up for the half of the season you missed, dude.
Oh, because I was making fucking bank, bro.
While I was
out
carrying,
here fucking
while I was carrying this thing on my back.
You do make bank. Didn't you make 16 million this year? You should be fucking buying
I
some
made,
pink
I
Whitney
made, I
as
think,
a.
16 times what Will made this year. I think it was the number.
Oh,
16
shit.
times.
Hey,
more than that.
I would hope it's 160
You should-
times. Weren't you signed like halfway through this?
Dude. Oh my God.
Fucking dick, Will, dude. Bussin' the boys with you, bro. Fucking in the boys.
Asshole.
Fucking
No, I
Will,
love you. I
Hey,
love you.
Will's over here, low-key just getting sandwiched and doing insult.
No,
fucking
I'm just
sandwich,
sitting here
dude.
thinking like, damn, I wish you had that perspective when you're stressed throughout the entire year.
Yeah, 100%. But we're not in the middle of it right now. So,
So
it's fun.
why do you get so stressed? I'm curious. Like you have like
I think we're all curious.
you have, like you're one of the top O linemen in the league. You make all this money. Like I understand that you want to be good at your job, but do you stress throughout the season big time?
Fuck yeah, I stress.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I remember being like always panicked. Maybe like you
Yeah.
lose your job.
Something's going to happen. What if I give up a sack? What if I let the boys down? What if I do something that costs us the game? It's like this crazy
It's what
anxiety.
makes you good.
But
It's
all,
crazy.
it makes you good, but there's levels to it. Like if you use it as fuel, and it's like kind of, I think Mike Tyson said this, is like fear is like fire. If you use it correctly,
That's deep.
yeah, if you use it correctly, you can cook food, keep yourself warm. But if you let it get out of control, it can burn down your house. It can burn down everything in your life.
You ever talk to a sports psychologist throughout the season?
Yeah, I started this year and it was fucking unbelievable.
Game changer.
Game changer, dude.
I met a guy. He works with a bunch of the Bruins, and it's like people kind of laugh at it. I think like old school people maybe laugh at that stuff, but I wish I did when I was still playing. And granted, I went through a bunch of different things. Like I was always worried, always nervous, always panicking, and I just wish I had somebody like that.
Did you
'cause
make
it does
fun
make
of
a
dudes?
difference.
You made fun of dudes who did it?
No, like nobody really did it. Nobody really. If they did it, they didn't talk about it. It was different. I mean, you guys know, like
This
mental
right
health
now is way different. It's way different right now in the last 3 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like in the last 2-3 years, things have really switched. I've been retired. This September will be 7 years. So it's just like it wasn't the same. Like if you came in, you're like, guys, I was talking to a doctor, a sports psychologist. They'd be like, what? About what, dude? Like there's just people look at things a different way now, which can be good. I also think sometimes it can be bad. But as long as like you're talking to somebody, if you're that nervous throughout the season being as good of a player you are, it shows. Imagine the guys who are really on the fringe. What they're going through.
Someone get Will a fucking towel, dude.
No, I don't. Hey,
I turned into a fringe guy. By the way, Biz should be here and they can cross and we can cross and then boom, there you go.
yeah, I don't take that as a shot. I mean, it's true.
Hey, I mean, I've seen you sign with different teams. It's got to be hard, right? Like you're kind of looking for a job when camp starts, right? And then just
Yeah.
staying in shape, looking to get signed throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just depends on how you look at it. I would say the last 2 years, I did my damnedest to go as long as I could by not signing in training camp, so that way I could save my body.
Yeah, that's
But
just a grinder.
This past year,
So you almost want to miss training camp.
correct. Like
Yeah.
the year before, I got signed to the Titans 10 days before the first game. The year before, I got signed on to the Saints. I ended up getting hurt, getting cut, and then that's when I got picked up by the Raiders that year. This past year, I got offered at the beginning of training camp and said no. Thought there would probably be more. There wasn't. Went throughout the year, didn't get a call. And then in November is when I got a call, and I was thinking about being done. I was
Is
like,
it
hey, I
hard to
think
keep training when you're like, I don't know what's
that's
coming?
the hardest part.
No
not
doubt.
not that it's like I don't know what's coming, but I have so much fun with this, and you're kind of just like, yo, I feel good about the career I've had, and I feel like I've gotten to carve out my transition. So if it doesn't happen, more so it's just like it's a bitch to go in and train for football every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's like if I do get signed, you don't want to go out there like I'm running down those in special teams, feeling like I'm about to tear my hammies. And that's just with the training that I was doing. It's like, if you slip up at all, like you can just be hurt fucking playing out there. So the worst part was like, fuck, I got to go in and work out, put a couple hours in the gym before I do all the things with Bussin and all the boys.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys one
I
thing.
want you to know I heard every single word.
No, he was
I listened to every fucking word just
his
now.
Dick off.
I went a couple times. They might have caught it on the mic. They might not have. I went, Oh.
I fucking hate both of you guys right now. I fucking hate both. I can't wait till Biz comes here, dude.
Hey, I'm not shit. I'm getting interviewed. Don't hate me.
Yeah, speaking of getting interviewed.
I have a question for both you guys, though.
Oh, that's kind of a different deal.
Yeah, but I'm also a podcaster, so I can also ask questions.
No.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Nothing inside joke. Nothing again. Nothing.
Oh shit, that was gonna be
Ryan Clark.
You were.
It wasn't a big.
All right, cool. Either way, NFL guys, are you like NHL players? Be like, these guys don't even have guaranteed contracts. I know you get like signing bonuses and things like that, but like you said, you get hurt, you get cut. Will the union like ever change that, or is that just kind of how football is going to be because there's so many guys on each roster?
You'd like to think so. That eventually it'd be like guaranteed money. Kirk Cousins, your boy, he was one of the only guy to get guaranteed money.
Every dollar he signed for, he's getting, no matter what.
I think it was.
Yeah, he's
it was
so
that.
savant in the negotiating game.
So you signed a deal for 80, right?
Yeah.
What's guaranteed?
50 of it was guaranteed.
So as and that doesn't matter. Injured, not too many clicks.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Injured, cut.
No, it's cool.
And so when agents are doing the deals, it doesn't even matter the big number. It's all about.
Yeah, your first number is like, what's the guarantee? What's the first, and then it's what's the first 3-year money, or like if you sign a 4-year contract, what's the first two-year money? Like what's half that?
Let's get it.
No, yeah, but you want that as front loaded as possible. I got super lucky because my agency is great, CA is awesome, but the first 3 years were so front loaded that like what I'm getting paid now after the year I had where I could be staring at like a cut or a trade, my numbers are so low that like even if they did try to replace me, they'd have to go spend $4, $5, $6 million more dollars to go get something adequate to replace me, you know?
So your agent did a great job.
They did an outstanding job.
Nice.
I got to do a better job staying healthy.
But with the players thing though, you wish that would happen, but our union's so big. There's so many players.
Our union's also trash too.
But also
Is
it's
it
players
really?
too. But bro,
they're a
big
dumpster
players
fire.
say that.
Well, I think a lot of them say it in the locker room. I just have a podcast, so I'll say it. They're
Good for
fucking
you.
dumpster fire.
Taylor doesn't go to any of the meetings though, so
They're
it's kind of like
trash.
So they can start him be like,
because
dude,
here's what
you
you need. Here,
why
I
don't
might
you
not
try
go
to
to the
change
meetings.
it? Why don't you try to
Right.
change
So
it?
here- hang on.
They told me the same thing.
Here's what
They-
you need out of Taylor.
Nate,
You need
I've-
Taylor to be like an $85 million man, and you need these high-paying guys to be fully guaranteed at a lower top ceiling number.
Yeah.
Because you need guys to reset like Kirk Cousins. He was like somebody who's trying to like set an example. He wasn't like out there pioneering for it, but being on Washington with him, he's like, bro, he would go 3-year fully guaranteed deals. Now you have to get to the market to do that, which is a gamble because of injury and risk. But he gets to the market and then he gets to command what he wants. Because somebody offered him more like in the 90s, but it wasn't fully guaranteed. So he ended up signing with the Vikings at 89, fully guaranteed for 3 years. And then when they renegotiate with him, he fully guarantees every year. You would need the guys who sign like the big longer term deals with like a high ceiling, say $100 million, and then 60 of it's guaranteed that window. You need guys to take less than that 100 ceiling and try to maximize that guarantee to kind of like reset, to help like set the example.
But
It all happened with quarterbacks.
do that?
Quarterbacks have to be the ones to do it. Because
But the
everything,
top
when
guys are
quarterbacks
spot.
get paid more, well, then the guys who catch the ball from the quarterbacks need to get paid more. And the guys who protect the quarterback have to get paid more. And then the guys who are rushing the quarterback have to get paid more. And it's kind of just like this downhill effect of when quarterbacks set the market for everybody. And then you have your own categories of different
But I
position
feel
groups.
like, not knowing anything, the guys who protect the quarterback may be more important than who he's throwing it to. Because like, if you ain't protecting him, he ain't getting it to that guy anyways.
He's being modest. Left tackles get.
Yeah,
They get out good.
They get broke
You're
off.
right.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks do get the absolute most.
Right.
Left tackle, like
It's
the
a tread
tackles
lightly
get
thing.
paid.
You see how much like there's going down here. I could be the next victim of what's been happening to you for the last 30 minutes any second. So I want to say the receivers first before I said me. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you feel me?
I'm like in my head.
I'm over here hiding and playing
at each other.
You know what I'm saying? I'm playing
Hockey
chess.
players
You said
chirp
that,
each
I'm like
other.
trying to catch up in my head. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, we're both just trying to impress you. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think all that shit is probably won't happen because there's so many more guys in the NFL than there are in hockey or baseball. And I think a lot of guys just care about what that big number looks like.
Yep.
Because they want to be the highest paid guy. And it's like,
That's the number everyone sees on Sports
Right.
Center or whatever.
because you could give somebody an APY of like 16, but pay them like, 9 in the first year, 10 in the second year, and then 23 in the next year or whatever would even it out to 16. But that 23 is not guaranteed. So they make 9 and 10 that get cut. You know what I'm saying?
And that 23 you planned on, you're
Yeah.
not seeing it.
Yeah, exactly. You're not seeing it, but you get to be fucking cool and act like you're the highest paid dude when really it's like, are you going to see that though? You know what I'm saying?
It's a crazy
Crazy world.
world watching NFL salaries and how it all works. And
And you know what the wild thing about it all is? The salary doesn't even matter. Because if someone's over the cap, all they have to do is go to their big name guys and say, hey, Aaron Rodgers, like what we're going to do is convert your entire year's salary into a signing bonus and pay you minimum. And then you just freed up.
and they don't care.
If he makes, no, that's huge for you because you get the money right now. You
Yeah.
make all your money right now and they make minimum 6 months later, as opposed to sitting here and then 6 months from now making his $40 million. He can make 39 right now. And then they save 39 or 35. I don't know what the numbers on the cap are. So the cap really is not a real thing. It just depends how much cash flow teams have and what they're willing to do.
I've always kind of looked at, like, since the NHL got a salary cap with the NFL, it's like those guys who are hired as the capologists, like what a job they have.
Yeah.
Especially with the NHL now.
Capologist is a nice term. Too.
What a term.
I like
you're
that.
such a nerd with that term, but you're so valuable.
Yeah.
It's like a valuable nerd.
Capologist.
I'm a capologist of the
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
And I decide what Taylor Lewan's going to make next year. And I
Yeah.
think like those guys, though, because there's GMs in hockey, they played hockey for 30 years. Some of them, they don't know shit. They need that guy to tell them.
Right.
You can't give this guy that. It is confusing for players.
Why do you think the money's so low in hockey? And I'm relatively speaking
Yeah.
to football because like Crosby signed $100+ million contract, right? About 6-7 years ago. Somebody signed something in the hundreds.
years.
Ovi signed a huge deal that he did himself too.
But it was like, they signed these big contracts, but it's like 10 years, 11-year contracts.
Fuck.
The biggest salary in hockey, I think, so you can only make, it's embarrassing, I don't know, it's like 18% of the team's salary cap, like one guy can make. There's like a max to how much you can make.
Mhm.
But hockey, I mean, it's growing, it's getting
It's
better.
way down.
But what's odd to me is that in the early 2000s, there was guys making 10 million a year. And now the best players make 10 million a year. So it's like, there really isn't that jump in terms of like you've seen in the other sports. Now, granted, baseball's got 162 games with all the 60,000 people at games. Football's that owns a day of the week.
Yeah, but hold on real quick with baseball. Like
days,
I've never watched a baseball game that
How about
wasn't the
these pitchers?
playoffs.
Fifth pitcher making 13 million a year.
But I've never watched a baseball game that wasn't the playoffs where it's packed. It's like, a
I don't know.
third full.
Fenway
Do I
Park's
sound like an
packed every
idiot?
game.
It depends on the club.
Fenway,
Always stacked.
Wrigley. These
They don't got
Yankee
salary cap
Stadium
in
like that
MLB,
too?
right?
there's like a there isn't a salary cap, but if they
It's the
go
Wild West.
if they go over, there's some sort of there's a luxury tax or something like that. But great job,
Shout out Bloss, dude. That was fucking
boss. So I will say this.
He's
I will,
drunk already.
I will say this. No, it's Pink Whitney. I'm actually like immune to it.
huge.
It's me, dude. I'm
Yeah,
literally,
yeah.
it's my blood.
He's
that everyone-
recharging. It's like
they're
a
selling
Tesla.
my blood.
This is the battery. You know what I'm saying?
They're selling my skin tone after a week in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh, baseball. No, baseball's got
Luxury
huge
tax.
numbers.
The luxury
huge
tax.
numbers. And basketball, there's only what, 10 guys a team, and it's so big. Like they got the Chinese money. But hockey, it's getting better, but it is not the most popular sport in the world. I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah, but it is worldwide as opposed to like NFL, who's like getting into Europe and getting into multiple other countries, but it's not like you go anywhere in the world and you can play hockey, except for maybe like South America
or Africa.
or Africa. So 2 continents, sue me. You know what I'm saying? There's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of other shit. Antarctica, I bet that shit's going wild up there.
With the penguins.
Yeah. Whatever,
Penguins and the
dude.
polar
The
bears.
Earth is flat anyway. You know what I'm saying?
What is this? What is this? What is this?
So this is the average annual player salary in all sports.
And
NBA is at the top.
what are we at? Like 6 or 7?
Who
I
are
mean,
they-
we're
who are they
we're ahead
below?
of Italy's. We're ahead of Italy's soccer league. That's not bad. I mean, we're ahead of Germany's soccer league. It's hockey. Yeah, it's hard to describe. I mean, it's not the most popular sport in the world. I think part of it is hockey's very expensive game to play. Very expensive. When you're younger, you need equipment, you need ice time. The ice time now in Boston, granted it changes across the country. You mentioned your dad's from Medina. A place like that, they have like 10 outdoor rinks. It's awesome. Boston now, it's like $400 for an hour of ice.
Yeah.
And then you got to buy all this gear, and then you got to pay a couple grand to play on the team. Not everyone can do it, and you get these amazing athletes in the NFL and the NBA. You grab a ball, you go out and play. And so I think like how difficult it is to get into the sport kind of translates to later on in terms of like how big the sport is.
Yeah.
Now, I do think that NHL getting with ESPN, they're back with ESPN this year is good. They paid a lot more money than prior, like NBC Sports had them and things like that. So that could be good, but there's a way to go.
Do you think it's some of these rule changes that are making it a little more soft?
I think it does. I think it does
stunting the
hurt a
growth?
little bit.
Yeah.
I think people love fights. We said it earlier, and if you go to games, people love fights. But like you guys have learned with doing this job as the podcast and being athletes, like Twitter speaks for a lot of people, even though it's not like the actual world you're living in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Twitter's
It's a weird minority that seems so big.
It's a vocal minority that drives me insane. And like, unfortunately for my life, I have to be on it. Like it's part of my job, but it drives me crazy because in hockey sense, Twitter's the worst thing that ever happened to hockey. Twitter has all these reporters and all these fans who like every time there's a concussion, they're going nuts. And every time there's a fight that's so unhealthy, the guy's gonna have a concussion and he's gonna deal with CTE. And it's like, all right, well, everyone watching the game was on their feet going nuts for it. Everyone's talking about it. The guy who fought were willing to do it.
Right.
But we got you on Twitter saying how bad this is for the game. And for some, in some instances, the league really responds to like different tweets and different action on Twitter where it's like, it's kind of bad for the game in a sense.
It seems kind of weird to me that like hockey, and from the media standpoint, that like hockey players, I know a couple players in the Predators have great personalities, great dudes, but you watch some of their interviews and they look like fucking, they have a stick up their ass.
That's another thing.
And that's a thing that like they kind of tell you to do, right? You got to be vanilla. You got to be, because in a weird way, this is a gentleman's sport.
It's a big time, it's like not taking away from any other sport, but hockey, it's like, it's a team thing. It's all about the team. There's no I in team. All the cliches where
Yeah, but there's a me.
there's a me. And that's kind of what I've learned later on. I'm like, oh shit, I should have been talking way more. I could have had this vodka when I was playing.
You probably would have been traded 10 more times, though, you know what I'm
I already
saying?
got traded 17 times. That would have been 27 total. But I think that players in hockey for a long time have been just keep your mouth shut, give the old cliche answers, and don't ruffle any feathers. Don't give the other team bulletin board material. And then you see these other sports and you see NFL players and NBA guys who are willing to go out on a limb and get themselves to be the center of attention. It sounds bad, but it's not. And it grows the game. It's like personalities. And hockey's doing better on that. Like guys are getting the Instagrams. Guys are wearing different outfits. Some teams have started getting rid of the dress code you need to go to the game. Stuff that like...
What's the dress code usually like? I hate cutting you off.
Suit and tie.
Has to be a suit and tie.
Right. Yeah, suit and
Dress
tie.
shoes too. You can kind of wear J's if you want to wear J's.
Yeah, now probably, but like before, like
When you were playing?
No, not really.
Shit.
I mean, in a way, it's like the more individuals that grow their brands, the better the whole sport does. And hockey's just lagging so far behind on that.
Yeah.
They're lagging behind because guys don't want to be the guy on the team that the guy's like, what the fuck, man? It's about the team. Why are you bringing the attention to yourself? Where I personally think other sports guys don't care. I mean, there's wide receivers in the NFL, they don't care.
Well, why?
does,
Yeah, it does.
yeah.
Go ahead, Will. You take this.
I was just gonna say it does a little bit. Like that is true in a sense, but also like there's a lot of like team guys, and not even that, but the coaches preach it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I know, Vrabe's kind of big on that.
Yeah, Braves
Don't
on
do-
that.
don't
Plus, he
stuff to
came from
hurt
the
the team.
Pats, which is kind of like nobody say
Oh
a
no,
word.
we're the Pats of the South for sure.
Yeah, you guys are.
Yeah, a little bit like that for sure. I
Rabe
think,
would always bust my balls. Like I would do like tweets and stuff like that. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, you make it about you. And I was like, oh, all I did was say it was the best third string teamer that Tennessee's ever signed.
But my
Like,
thing,
I'm making
yeah,
it
shit was
about
funny
me.
as hell too.
You know what I mean? But he's just like, don't do stuff that like
Yeah,
hurts the team, or don't make it about you. Like it's team.
He's right, because when I get in the season, I won't do the podcast, and I'll like
you don't
I'll
do it all
stay away
year?
from Twitter. Yeah, it's more of an insecurity thing than anything else, because you don't want to walk into a locker room after a loss, or you have a bad game, and the boys are looking at you like you just fucking care about this podcast, which is
I know my
Yeah.
argument would be like, and it's the way you're saying it, and it's way easier being retired and looking back, but it's like, all right, Vrabes. I love how I'm calling Mike Vrabel Vrabes.
yeah. So everybody calls him.
I when I'm done, I got to make money, and this is like leading me into the end of my career. And like, yeah, right now, like if you don't believe I'm all in for this team, that's one thing. But if I can do that and also set myself up for when I'm done, man, I need to find something when I'm finished. So it's like to build your own brand in hockey and probably some parts of football seems selfish, but it's in a way like everyone's career comes to an end. It's not easy for anyone. And then you need to, for most guys, make money. And even if you have enough money, you need to do something. So it's like that can kind of create stuff for you in the future where if you're just quiet and to yourself, at the end, you're like, shit, why didn't I do that stuff I wanted to do? Because right now I might have something else.
Right. The
100%.
one thing I always lean on is like when we do this stuff is the logo. We play for the logo, right? But when we're done playing for the logo or the logo
don't care
cuts us
about you.
or trades you, they're not going to make sure you're set up for the next thing. So when you're trying to build it while you're a player, shaking the hands when you're better looking, your jokes are funny or all this shit and building your platform, then you have something to transition into because that team's not going to take care of you when it's over and they're done with you.
100%.
I remember, so I got traded from Pittsburgh to Anaheim. We went to the Cup Finals in Pittsburgh. We lost. I got traded at the deadline the next year, and then they went on to win the Cup. So that was tough. But I was with my dad.
Hey, that is fucking tough,
dude.
Holy
It
shit.
was me and another guy that were on the team the year before. And then they went to Game 7. We lost to Detroit in the Cup Finals, and they played Detroit again. They beat Detroit in Game 7. So we're watching Game 7. I was texting this kid, and Pittsburgh won. And I was actually really happy for my buddies. I really was. But it still was crushing. And, like, we got so fucked up that night. It was like, what else are you going to do? But I don't even know how I just thought of that. But I ended up getting traded. Oh, because I got traded to Anaheim. And I was sitting with my dad one time. Anaheim was good. Edmonton, tough city. But I was really struggling. I had some injuries, and I wasn't the same player I was when I signed my like one big contract. And I remember saying to my dad, I was like, I wish I could I almost like want to give some of this money back. I'm so bad. I don't deserve this. And he was like, what? And I was like one of those like fathers, what? Where I'm like, he's like, shut the fuck up. He's like, you think these fucking people would give you more money if you were playing better? You think they give a fuck about you when you're done? And it was like, oh my God, like I had never thought of that. Like it was like I felt so bad for not doing my job and not living up to my contract and things like that. And it's like, they don't give a fuck about you. If you were overperforming that contract, and it's really hard to kind of come to terms with that when you're playing because you're all about the team and you want to make the GM proud of that signed you, and you want to make your parents proud and your agent proud. It's like, in the end, man, when you're done, nobody gives a fuck about you.
You're a beat up car, dude. You're a commodity.
And I hate like
That
telling
is the
that
hard
to
thing.
guys, and we interview guys, and you have beers with them after, you run into them, and you don't want to be the guy that's like, hey man, like at the end, man, it's gonna be tough, but you also want to tell them like, just get every single dollar you can right now, and don't feel bad about any part of it. So I don't really know how I got into that. Maybe it's just
We need to be a spokesman for it.
PTSD for me.
You need to be a spokesman for it because you can we need to make hats and make hockey cool again. Like get guys to fucking
It's on its way. I
have a
know.
tilt.
It's a cool sport. You got to go to a game in
it's
person.
an epic sport, dude. It's literally I think I've said this on the podcast before. If not, I've said it in the real world. But it's my favorite sport to watch over football by far.
You were one of the guys, right?
Yeah.
When you guys drinking out of the fish and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I was the guy chugging out of the fish.
I was gonna say, hey,
he just used
he
the.
knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
You were the guy.
Play that all smoke. You're like one of the guys who were in the corner. Like you were at the game.
Bussin in the
You gonna be
boys.
there tomorrow?
Yeah, busting
Yeah,
over
we're
that
going tomorrow.
catfish.
Tomorrow
We'll
we
be
got a
doing
big
it
Pink
tomorrow.
Whitney party at Jason
Yeah.
Aldean's, and then going to the game.
Where are you staying
We'll be
at?
doing that
Where you?
Joseph,
Oh,
great
okay,
hotel.
right. Yeah,
Great
solid.
hotel.
Solid place. That's where we
solid.
stay
MB
for,
hooked it up.
games. That's where we stay before games. Is the Joseph.
They make you guys. That's like Russia.
Yeah.
They call it the Baza. So you got to go to a hotel the night before your game.
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
brutal. But they make you do that in the NFL?
make you do that in the NFL.
'Cause-
They do like a bed check at 10:30.
Oh my God, because they
Yeah.
know you guys are lunatics. You guys will be out and about ripping it up.
No doubt. I think it's because it's
Like, are you getting a knock on your door no matter what?
yeah every
Holy
night at 10:30, and they
Holy
barge in like
Some
assholes.
dudes will finagle it. They'll pay the guy who checks the door and
Yeah.
finagle
It's a
the.
corrupt world in there. But speaking of Russia, since it's a hot topic right now,
Yeah.
how was your time in Russia?
Interesting to say.
What
the
was
least.
it? Did you see this coming? What's going on in the world right
So
now?
I was there in 2014 when they went into Crimea. I played with a guy
Yeah.
who played in Donbass, Ukraine. They had a great KHL team and their rink was blown up in
What
like
does
an
KHL stand for?
Continental Hockey League, which I don't
Okay.
really know what that has to do with
Is that with a
Russia.
C?
Yeah, that's what
With
I
a
was
K.
just thinking.
To the K.
Allegedly.
So they don't give a
gotta,
fuck. So in Russia, when you're the captain, you don't have a C on your shirt, you have a K.
That kind of goes hard to me.
So it's pretty good drip. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
I fucking hate Russia, but I'm
You're reusing the drip word too. That's nice.
So, yeah, well, I don't have a tinted visor to wear to say.
Yeah. I told you it's different. It's different.
So Russia was great. I was in Sochi, which they call the San Diego of Russia, which always cracked me up. That's what they say, because it doesn't really snow there. They had the Olympics there in 2014. I lived in the old like athletes village, which was a ghost town. It was so bizarre. It was like one of those, you hear about like the Olympics now, they go to cities and then when they leave, there's just nothing. It was like this Olympic village that was just done, ghost town. So they put us up there. See, it is pretty nice looking. And
the San Diego of Russia.
And so when
I hope that's on a billboard there somewhere.
When I was there, oh yeah, it's definitely on a billboard in backwards letter. I don't even know their alphabet's different. But I remember, so we had a driver. So all the imports hang out. Every team in the KHL is allowed 5 imports, so just non-Russians. There was a Canadian, a Finn, a Swede, a U.S. guy, myself. And there was just say there's 6. We had a Czech goalie. And
sounds like the joke Will was gonna tell.
It was a crazy, that was the joke.
Swede, the Finn,
hey guys, I have a joke. So we
fucking get Will.
So we
get Will's heartbeat going, boys.
Oh, so listen, so we have a driver because you can't drive over there, and I joined the team. I actually did what you did. I was like, I'm not going to the KHL until after training camp. Training camp, you leave July 1st. To the KHL. So midsummer, all the guys in the NHL. I go, I'm not
4th of July.
I'm not going until after camp. So I actually didn't sign till middle of October. And I get over there and there's a driver. There's a driver for all the imports. You can't drive over there. And
why can't you drive over there?
Because like it's Russia. Like they'll fucking take you and it's just there's no chance an import can drive over there. Every team has a driver for the imports. And so this guy's driving. This guy's driving us the second day, and all of a sudden the cops are behind us. I'm like, oh fuck! And the cops, we get pulled over. The guy pulls over Vadim. I'll never forget. I have a picture. I'm in the hot tub with Vadim. He's my boy. Haven't spoken to him since I left. So the cop walks up to the window, and he puts down the window like this far, and Vadim just takes a bunch of cash, bunch of rubles, and just hands it out the window. And
rubles, is that like marbles or is that like the currency?
That's the cash.
Got you.
And hands it to the cop, and he says, "La la la la." And leaves.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
And the best part about that story was when I had been on the Penguins fucking 8 years before that, Evgeny Malkin, superstar, Hall of Fame, one of the best players of all time, he came over. It was his rookie year. He's living with Sergei Gonchar.
Guy.
Sergei Gonchar was a great defenseman, unbelievable player, and he was a Russian as well. So Malkin lived with him his rookie year. And he didn't have a license, and he got pulled over driving a car, a Porsche, had no business driving, and he doesn't know. He's from Russia, Magnitogorsk, and the cop pulled him over, and he just put down the window and handed him a bunch of money. And the cop's like, what the fuck? This ain't Russia, bro.
That is fucking
so
wild.
So I got a call from the Pittsburgh police and went down there. And like, they don't know. It's just a different life. But I'll say this, as miserable as I was, my favorite memory of my time in Russia, too, was it was when I'm a Pats fan, being from Boston area.
Tough.
Yeah, it's been a real tough run. I had a sling box.
This departed ass dude talking the way.
I mean,
we gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Tell you where we're going.
Sorry, we're winners.
Yeah.
So yeah,
whose guy are we taking?
I'm on the Pats of the South though. So I sling boxed. I recorded the Pats Seattle Super Bowl, and I because I knew, so I shut off the game. It would have been like 3 a.m. I went to practice. I had my phone off, and I knew nobody at the game would have, like, Russians don't know football. They don't know. So nobody said a word. I went home and I watched the game 12 hours later, had no clue, and got to like see the Butler interception. Like, it was live to me. But the reason I just thought of that is because I hated being in Russia. It was miserable. It was just tough. It was this, you can't talk to anyone. And now I look back on it, and as miserable as I was, I'm like so happy I did it, because it was, it was an experience, and I got to go through some stuff that probably I didn't love at the time. And in the end, I'm like, oh my God, I'm really happy I did it. And I went over there, and I had a couple buddies who'd been there and left, and they'd be like, there's no chance you're going to last. You're so bougie, you bitch. You're not going to fucking make it a week. And I was like, I'm not fucking leaving this place. And like, we had double sessions some days, and I gutted it out. So that's what I'm proud about.
So when you go out in town there, like, do you have to have like someone walk you or escort you around?
It wasn't like going out. Like it was
What
weird.
about the San Diego?
Yeah,
area?
trust me. When they say San Diego or Russia, they might as well say like Sacramento of Russia. It's terrible. It's
That's
trash.
right. That's where I was
It's like
born.
Sacramento's
where I was born.
I would move to Sacramento and
You were born in Sacramento?
Yeah.
Are you? Shit, sorry to hear that, bro.
Tough area.
Were you scared to go out all the time in Russia?
We didn't really go out. Honest to God, we did not go out.
But when you found yourself out, were you kind of like, yo, fuck,
I didn't.
I'm a little
I
uncomfortable?
never. We would. The imports would have drinks in our like dorm and just hang out. And one guy had his wife there, and we were kind of like our own family within the team. We
Like all
wouldn't.
of your guys' wife, or what was it?
No, it wasn't like that. What's up,
how'd
Susie?
you scratch that itch, dude?
I FaceTimed my girl and got it going on that one.
God bless. I sure got hacked.
I mean, the UJ
Putin was watching me get down.
It was they might have blocked it in Russia at that point, but I didn't go out. I didn't do anything, and they had curfews too. It was like the Baza. That's what I'm saying. There wasn't a chance to go out before games. On the road, you couldn't do anything. I had a buddy who played in Moscow who loved it. I just didn't have the same experience.
Yeah.
Biz came on and was talking about AK-47s, bags of money being left at the locker. Like, did you have any experiences with
I had a
in the
guy.
cage like
We
that?
had this kid. What was his name? Mikel Anison. And we played in a game one time, and all of a sudden, like after the game, I look over and he had like a buddy come in the room. And all of a sudden, he's got a handgun. He's waving it around. His buddy bought him a handgun. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, brand new.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. But in terms of the cash, they would get direct deposit. I had like an Italian bank within Russia. It was kind of weird. I remember actually, I told my wife now, she wasn't at the time. I got home and I had all this money in this Russian Italian bank account, and I had no clue how to get it home. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna get this money home? Like, there's Italian, there's Russian. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so bad on the computer anyways. I said, if you can get this money back to me, I'll get you any bag you want. And like that night, it was in my Bank of America account. I'm like, okay, we're going shopping tomorrow.
No
So
shit.
I had no clue how to get home. I actually heard a great story. Before the KHL was formed, it was called the Russian Super League, when it was really no rules, like completely off the wall. And there was a goalie who had like 400 grand. They'd pay American cash over there too back then. He had $400,000 American cash, and he had no clue how to get it home without dealing with the taxes. He's looking to just get this money home. What do I do? So he cut his pads. He cut into the pads, and he put all the cash into each pad, 200 grand in each pad, and he sewed it back up, and then he checked his equipment. And so on the flight home, he has no idea. Like, he's like, when I get back there, like, if this equipment's there, like the money might be in it. And he got home, he got back, the equipment came, across the, whatever it's called. And he looked and he's like, oh my God, it's back. And he got all the money home that way.
No
so it's
shit.
like, yeah, it's a
Fucking
panic.
savage, man.
That was back when it was like
So illegal.
old school illegal stuff.
Dude, that's fucking hardcore.
Russia's crazy.
What can you tell us about the Russian gas and the vitamins?
The Russian gas is nuts. I played a
Well,
game.
what's Russian gas?
So Russian gas is
I remember hearing Biz say-
before the
say that.
We
game.
just regurgitate shit. Yeah. I love that.
He said, my man was on some vitamins one time. I was like, do we know what kind of vitamins they were? He's like, oh, you'll have to ask Whit.
No, so
Hey, so here we are.
So I was playing,
And scene. Let's do this.
and now I have the joke. So listen to my joke. So the guy.
Yo, that one just keeps living, and I love it, dude.
So I don't forget stuff. So the guys that I was playing with, the Russian guys, before the game, like after warmups, I'm talking like 10 minutes before a puck drop, they'd go in and all of them would be on an IV. And I'm like, what is going on? What is that? And the guy's like, you try. You feel strong. I was like, well, I don't know. And finally we played a game, Dynamo Moscow. There's like CSKA Moscow, there's Dynamo Moscow, the two big teams there. And the team was good. And I was like, all right, fuck this. Like, this is probably my last year playing hockey. And I went in, and after warm-ups, I got this IV, and I got on the ice. I was like, oh my God, I am flying. I'm talking. I'm like, I'm going to play in the NHL again. No, it's like, this isn't over. I'm calling my agent. I'm like, call all these teams. I'm back. Our season ends in March. Bring me in for the playoffs. I feel amazing. I'm high-stepping out there, a couple assists. And then the game ended. The next day we had practice, and I was like, wait a minute, I suck again. What the hell was that? And it was, I don't know what was in it. And some teams actually had like, you put the gas mask on and you'd like, I don't know what you were inhaling. And some teams had the IVs, but it was 100% something because I was buzzing out there.
Did you inhale?
I did the IV. I never did the gas. I never did the Russian gas, but my gas was an IV. I consider it all the same thing. It's basically performance enhancing something from Russia.
Right.
Time to take a quick break from the episode and shout out Paint Your Life. If you want to give a truly meaningful gift, you've got to try paintyourlife.com. Get a professional, hand-painted portrait created from any photo at a truly affordable price, or combine photos of people or places you love into one painting. Choose from a team of world-class artists and work with them until every detail is perfect. It's fast and convenient. You can receive your portrait in as little as 2 weeks. It's a great gift idea, boys. It's a great opportunity to buy your mom or dad a gift before Mother's Day or Father's Day. And heck, maybe even St. Patty's Day coming up, bro. But send any picture, yourself, your children, family, a special place, someone you loved who isn't around anymore, a cherished pet, even an action shot of you or your children playing your favorite sport. Meaningful, personal, and can be cherished forever. At paintyourlife.com, there's absolutely no risk. If you don't love the final painting, your money is refunded, and that's guaranteed by the boys for the boys. And right now, as a limited time offer, get 20% off your painting. That's right. That's what I just said. 20% off and free shipping. To get this special offer, text the word BOYS, BOYS, to 64,000. That's BOYS to 64,000. Text again, the third time, BOYS to 64,000. Paint your life, celebrate the moments that matter most. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at paintyourlife.com/terms. Again, text BOYS to 64,000.
So, yeah, it was great though.
Performance enhancing something from Russia.
Great.
So let's Quentin Tarantino this, dude. Let's fucking jump all the way back to you getting kicked out of your billet family's house.
Yeah,
There we
stupid
go.
story. It doesn't even.
Don't do it. Hey, if it's stupid, make it a little more theatrical
No,
for me.
my actually.
Dress that thing
Good
up.
friend of mine, Brian Foley, his older brother Pat, was a really, really good player. He's now a Boston cop. So he went out to this national program a couple years before me.
Crooked
And
cop.
got this great, no, he's legit. He's actually like listening to the fucking microphone when he's not working, looking to hop into scenes that they might
No
need his help.
shit.
He's an animal.
Super cop.
Yeah, he's super cop.
I
His whole
fucking love
family,
that.
they're all super
He's
cops.
Farva from Super Troopers.
Yeah, exactly. One of them's Secret Service. They're animals. So I went to this billet family who was great. Like this kid's like great. My parents
How
didn't
old
want
are
me
you?
to
How
go.
old are you during the billet? At this?
16.
And when do you guys usually go into billet families?
15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
I think I was turning 17 that season. My parents didn't want me to go. They wanted me to stay at the high school I was at, graduate. And I was like, no, whatever. I had to do it.
Now, and I hate fucking doing this again, but like when you play hockey, unless you're like in Minnesota, you kind of have to play like travel hockey, right? You can't just play high school hockey
Massachusetts used to be like Minnesota. They were the only two that you could play high school hockey.
and get a scholarship or get in the NHL.
And it's changed where Massachusetts now, if you're that good, you kind of have to go.
Yeah.
And even Minnesota, like you kind of, it's high school hockey's great, but it's also, it's so watered down, like the whole country in terms of hockey. But to get the chance to go to play for USA National Development Program was huge. So I go out and it's all about like my parents, like, we got to get good billets. We got to get good billets.
Mhm.
And all right, well, we met this great people that Pat Foley had been with, the Shays. I go out there and
The
like
Shays.
they're really nice, beautiful house in Ann Arbor, and
Yeah.
like I got in
That's what
trouble.
the USHL team is.
The-
Is that the junior USA team?
now they're in Plymouth, Michigan.
But
They were in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
And
Excuse me.
I went to a game.
Yeah.
Against
Yeah.
Bowling Green.
Actually, no, they're in Plymouth.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
fucking
Plymouth,
pussy.
Michigan, you dummy. Figure it out. Basically, though, my parents sent me out there. They got me this old Ford Explorer, like for a car out there. We drove it out there. I got the car, and I crashed it. I crashed it into my buddy's basketball hoop at his billet family's house. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to say that this car got hit at the movie theater because I'm not going to admit that I did anything, you know, when you're young. And sure as shit, I got caught in the lie because my dad's like, all right, well, let's call the movie theater. I'm sure they have cameras outside because he knew I was lying. I'm like, fuck. So I admitted to him that I crashed it into a basketball hoop. He's like, go tell your billet family. I'm like, it's not even their car. Why do I have to tell them? He's like, go tell them, go tell them. So I went and told them. They acted all disappointed, like so upset. It's like, it's not even your fucking car. My dad made me tell you. Why do you even care?
Yeah.
Whatever. So they were kind of on edge.
So fucking 16, 17 of you?
Yeah, it's like, what do you care? So whatever, they're on edge. And then we had a book report. We had a book report to do, Fahrenheit 451. If any of you guys have read that book.
No.
I was supposed to read it and I didn't. And so I called my billet mom. It was right before Thanksgiving. I said, hey, Mrs. Shea, I just talked to my teacher and I read the book Fahrenheit 451. I don't really get it. And she told me if I rent the movie, it'll really help me understand it for this book report I have to do. She's like, oh, okay. Can you go rent me? I said, can you go rent me the movie? Because I could go to practice. She's like, yeah, sure. Well, meanwhile, this lunatic, she called the teacher. She's like, did you ask Ryan,
lunatic.
not even my son, my billet son, did you tell Ryan to watch the movie because he didn't get the book? And she's like, no. What are you talking about? So we go on the road. We go to Green Bay. We're playing in Green Bay, right across from Lambeau Stadium. On Thanksgiving morning, I wake up. I get a call from the coach, Mike Eves. And he said, come down to my room. And I was like, what? And he's like, all your stuff's packed up at the office. You're kicked out of your Billets family house. Apparently me lying about like not reading this book and needing to see the movie was like their final straw to like get me kicked out of the house. So they booted me out. They packed all my shit up. They had my toothpaste with my sweatshirts. They had like my shoes with like different old hockey gear. And I was done. I had to sleep one night. I was in my car at Pioneer High School in Ann Arbor. And then like the assistant coach took me in. But in the end, it ended up working out great. I met these amazing people, Dave and Dottie Linebaugh. They were about 70 years old. Nicest people in the world. They took me in. They used to make me like sandwiches and shit at night. They were great. So it was great. I ended up leaving the
They
Shays.
basically let him do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
70 years old. Oh, didn't give a shit what I did.
The Shay's son, I used to send him like emails and stuff like your parents suck. I was like all over him. But it was funny because my good friend had a great experience with them, but they did not like me.
They didn't like you. Hey, Pioneer High School. Is that where you went to high school?
Yeah.
That's where my brother went too.
No shit.
Yeah, it's right across the street from.
His brother was a good hockey
He's
player.
a really good hockey player. And my dad.
The kid that played at Corpus Christi?
Yeah.
Oh, so he was living in Ann Arbor?
He was living in Ann Arbor. When I went up to Michigan, he was like 16. And so my dad and him went up to Ann Arbor to be around better hockey.
And they could see you.
And they could see me. That wasn't by my choice, but that's what they wanted to do. And they lived like in the houses, like right across the street from Pioneer.
Yeah.
So I would cruise over there, catch a free meal. And my brother was a solid hockey player. He was more of a grinder than he was like skilled.
Yeah.
But
I remember going to Pi High and like, you know, so I came from a private school in Massachusetts area, Thayer Academy, shout out to Tigers. And there was like 95 kids in my grade.
mm-hmm.
And I went to Pioneer High and there was like 900. Like,
Yeah, it's a massive
I think
school.
it was 3,600 kids, like, you know, 3,800 kids in the school. So it was eye-opening for me. But I remember like naturally you got kids from all over the country coming. They're the best 17, 18-year-old hockey players in the country. And the girls in the high school are kind of like, all right, we're into these guys. So these dudes who grew up with these girls their whole life, they're like, fuck you. Now, granted, none of the girls like me. I was a complete nerd with big ears. But all these other kids were like trying to fight guys on my team because all of a sudden the girls they knew their whole life were going to them. It was a great show I got to witness. But Pioneer High was like, you had to go. And then Huron High School was also in Ann Arbor. Guys had to go through like metal detectors to get into that school. I'm like, what am I? Exactly.
Yeah.
Now they're done. Now since they ended up leaving Huron, guys could only go to Pioneer before they went to Plymouth. But that's my NDDP story.
So did you get drafted right out of high school?
No, I played 1 year. It changed. It used to be if you went to college, the draft would get delayed a year.
Yeah.
So I got drafted after my freshman year of college. Now it's the same for everyone. So you do get drafted after senior
Where'd you go to college?
BU, Boston University.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of where I dreamed of going when I was growing up. So.
Why don't you get offered from Michigan?
I could have gone anywhere. I wanted to go back home.
Okay, guy.
I know.
All right.
I know.
The boy got drafted 5th overall.
Yeah.
I know, stud.
I could have gone anywhere.
5-star.
But I actually, looking back, I would have liked to go. I love BU. I had great experiences, but I would have liked to go to a school that BU's campus is just downtown Boston. There's no football team. Like I would have probably, if I could do it again, maybe experience, you know, the entire college experience. I didn't really get that. It's a little different.
Yeah, Michigan was awesome, dude. The hockey boys
Oh.
there. That's one thing. I don't know what your experience was like, but whenever I've been around hockey people, especially in college, it just seems like the closest knit group of dudes.
Yeah.
Like everyone fucks around with each other,
Yeah.
hangs out.
Yep.
There was I don't even know if this is like even appropriate for this podcast, but there was a spring semester. The hockey boys decided that they're not sleeping with a girl by themselves. Like they had to have one of their boys with them.
Yeah, I try to stay away from those
Had
like
a fucking.
I'm gonna start like twitching. I know that's it. The times have changed, but yeah, there was a lot of good times with hockey teams. There was
You
a
guys
lot
did
of
that
good
too in college?
No, I never did that.
You're
Never
lying
did
like
that.
a rug.
Singular
He's
sex.
lying.
Singular sex. There was
Dude.
no
Pig roasted?
group sex.
Oh yeah.
Zero group sex in the experience I had at college.
Hey, we saw that. We looked up the Russian gas. Now, do they not have Toradol in the NHL?
Oh, they have Toradol in the NHL.
This-
What's
you
funny
feel
enough
like-
is we were just in Vegas for the Chiclets Cup. We started a street hockey tournament that we're doing. Next one's in Buffalo, July 22nd weekend. If you're into street hockey, check it
My
out.
birthday.
And shout out Taylor. And I actually in Vegas, because we were going at it every day, right? So every morning I would have this IV doctor come to my room, and I would get Toradol every single day. It's the greatest drug in the world.
Do you feel
In
like that's
NHL,
what
we
that
didn't have-
was over in Russia?
No,
Hey, that'll
because
shut
Toradol.
your shit down.
No, Toradol gives all pain is gone. What I had was making me fast and strong and like with it. Toradol just like shuts down pain. I was buzzing. That was not Toradol I was on. I've taken Toradol. Every guy in the Stanley Cup playoffs from the third game of the first round on is taking Toradol.
Oh, bro, I take Toradol literally for
Ev-
practice.
No shit, really?
Only on Wednesdays sometimes.
You're lying.
Rarely. I promise.
I take it for practice only on Wednesdays sometimes. So you have doctors that'll give it to you for practice? Because
That's what you
NHL's
asked.
changed it where it's like, it's not easy
It
to.
just depends. Like, you rub elbows.
Are you on it for every game?
I am, but towards the end of the season, I got off of it a little bit because it makes me like too relaxed.
Really?
Oh,
I'm like
what?
this.
You can play without Toradol?
Yeah, I started taking diclofenac instead.
Diclofenac's a
Oh,
good
he
one.
took something else.
Yeah, but no, diclofenac's like not like a Toradol.
It's a
Toradol's
narcotic.
strong.
Too much Toradol, your organs are gonna shut down, like
You're
kind
done.
of shit.
That's why I said rarely. Like, it wasn't something
Yeah.
I did. Like, if I'm like actually going through like some
There
kind
was a
of
couple
injury and I need
times.
to
There was a
play.
couple times during camp, like just for regular practice, because like my knee was hurting or something.
Right,
I would go and
right.
take Toradol.
So
That who was that?
It'd be
What
like
is that?
that's a
indomethacin.
jersey we were selling, I think.
Oh, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need
I
that.
feel like you're gonna be
jersey.
rocking that right now.
Oh, dude, I would wear the fuck out of that.
Yeah, that's one of our.
Probably wait till this whole
Envy,
WWE
what's
thing's
that
over. I'm probably
company?
not gonna rep
It's
that.
They make our jerseys.
Um,
Men's league hockey. They make great men's league sweaters. They make great jerseys. We have a bunch of different styles, different jokes we've had on the pod. We have all these
Fucking
different
awesome.
jerseys. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good one. I've actually like haven't seen that in a while. I might start rocking that. Although actually not right now. They're in Ukraine.
Have you seen the movie Goon?
Yes.
Doug the Thug Glatt, dude. That's a
Yeah.
jersey I would wear all day,
Yeah,
every
that's a
day.
good one. There's Goon 2, I think. Too.
It's
There's two of them.
one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Goon, the original, is the most inspirational sports movie I've ever seen in my life.
You think?
Oh, dude, better than Remember the Titans or Friday Night Lights.
Rocky
all that
or
bullshit.
Miracle?
No,
Dick,
bro.
you're all
Goon
such
guy.
a dick, dude. Goon
I think you're just
is
dying on this
incredible.
hill. I think
No,
you're just
I
dying
love
on this
it.
hill.
I
I know you
fucking
love it,
that
but
movie.
the best inspirational sports movie of all time.
When
It's never on any
Doug the
list
Thug
out there.
Glatt and Ross the Boss Ray are sitting in the box, and he goes, he
got no
fucking
knee.
takes his stick and he hits it. He goes, "You ready, kid?" And Doug goes, "Yes, thanks for asking." And then they square up in center ice. That fight scene, it's nothing you would ever be a part of.
No, never. I play with George LaRock, who was one of the toughest guys. to
Yeah,
play in the
black dude,
NHL.
right?
Yeah, lefty killer.
He was in Goon.
Yeah,
The opening
yeah,
scene
he
of
was.
Goon. Yeah.
And there's a clip of him like before he squares off with somebody, at the face off, they're like, "You want to go? Yeah, let's go." And then George just says, "Good luck, man." Like it's like that's different now. Like that doesn't really happen. Whereas
Yeah.
it used to just be, yeah, right after the fight, we're good buddies, but I'm gonna try to kill you.
So why does that happen? Like, who decides when you're gonna fight, why you're gonna fight, and
So there
How?
used to be, so that was part of it. Like when I was coming up, like the goons, they knew they were fighting each other for no reason other than we're gonna fight. Like it did nothing. And so I kind of agree with like getting rid of these staged fights. Now fights pretty much happen if you hit somebody from behind, if you get your buddy, you hit a guy on your team dirty, if you run the goalie, like something
what's run the goalie mean?
you can't really hit the goalie. Like if somebody hits the goalie, like game on.
If you touch the goalie, it's over.
Pretty much, yeah. Like especially if he's out of his crease and you hit him, like that's usually enough
like
to
the
start a
quarterback.
fight. Now, pretty much,
Say
yeah.
that again.
He's
Like the quarterback.
but even
Even
though,
go after dudes who hit the quarterback.
Yeah.
yeah, but it used to be before first shift of the game, two guys who have no problem with each other, and the game hasn't even started. They're squaring off. That's really what the game's gotten rid of. That's one thing that's not that bad to get away from because like those guys, they didn't even want to be fighting each other half the time.
So there's no situation where it's like, hey, it's 3-1. We need a spark.
No,
Hey,
that's
so
not-
and so.
That's still that happens way less. But that still would be a reason if you're down. But they are done with like the 1 minute into the game, score 0-0. The two toughest guys are going to fight. And both of the guys, for the most part, haven't slept pregame meal because they're so nervous. The night before, they know who they got to fight. It's like,
Yeah, that's
talk to
true,
these
man.
guys. These dudes battled such anxiety to know, like, even though I know I'm tough, I know I can fight. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in this fight. And it's like a panic.
There's a documentary about that, right? Like Ice Guardians.
Yeah, it's great. I think Biz is in that, actually.
Is he?
Yeah.
I watched it like 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember a whole lot of it,
It's
but
good.
them talking about that.
Biz was like one of those guys, right?
That's how Biz made a living. Biz,
And
my
he's
first
not a
memory
big dude. Like in my mind, I'm like, I'm beating this guy's ass.
compared to you, bro. He's my height and like jacked. He's
So,
pretty big compared to
if
most
you-
human beings. You're
if you
9 feet tall.
Could you teach me to? Nice tall joke. If can you teach me to skate and fight? How long would that
I
take?
couldn't teach you to do either. I couldn't teach you to do either. So my first memory of Biz is I went to Pittsburgh training camp and
Dude, he's not a big dude.
8 a.m. 8 a.m. So the first group, there was 4 groups, and the first group was on at 8 a.m. And I walk in the rink, and he's squaring off with his buddy. Like at the time, they were real good friends. This kid Dan Carcillo, 8 a.m. They're squaring off center ice, good friends, and going toe to toe. I'm like, Jesus Christ! But Biz almost made the Penguins when he was 19 years old as a defenseman, and then he had some real off ice issues. He was a complete lunatic when he was younger. He was getting in trouble all the time. He'll tell you himself. And they sent him to the AHL, to the coast. And finally, they were like, all right, you're going to be a forward. You're going to be on the fourth line. And you're going to fight. And what he did that's pretty impressive is like a lot of guys would just be like, no, I'm not a fourth line. I was a defenseman. I'm not fighting. And Biz was like, whatever it takes to get the NHL, I don't care. And so he started fighting. And he learned to fight. And he did it. And he did it. And he kept doing it. And he ended up being the guy who would, like, every game going in to fight guys that, yeah, he's... Compared to NHL fighters, he's a little small, a little undersized. So he'd be fighting guys huge, bigger than him. And he'd be like... not wanting to fight him, but he'd just do it. So that's why he's an animal.
What was he doing off the ice?
Bro, I got a buddy.
What is he doing off the ice?
Yeah, what was he doing off the ice?
I mean, like, old school Chicklets Biz, you hear about his, like, sexcapades. You hear about his drinking, his drugging. He was a lunatic.
He was definitely a pig roast kind of guy.
Lunatic.
Yeah.
But he's cleaned up. Now he's a businessman. He's got a girl. He's a smart guy.
Dude, he is.
He is a smart fucking dude.
Oh, he's the dumbest smart person in the world.
Yeah.
We'll like text and stuff. He'd be like, I'll
He
call
low-key
you at a
reminds me
certain
of
time.
Will.
What?
He reminds me of Will.
Is he
In a lot
like
of ways.
that?
Will's smart,
He seems
but like
very
but
business
super
driven.
motivated, knows what
Smart,
he's doing, strategy, handles all that stuff. I feel like all the shots you've taken, we gotta lift you
I
up a
thought
little
that's
bit.
why
know
you
what
said
I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah,
Man, let me pump you up after this. You can pump his tire
This
first.
is when he
Hey,
walks away
shoot,
from him and
dude,
goes,
I love
"Ah,
him."
fuck, yeah." But he, no, Will. I mean, without Will, this podcast is going nowhere.
So that's Biz with our podcast.
Hey,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you just Julie?
I don't know. My brother gave me this. I'm like, fuck it, I'll bring it. Any nicotine's good. Hey, so Biz came on our podcast. He joined Chicklet. It was myself and RA and Grinelli. And Biz came. And if it was still just us three without Biz, we'd have, I don't know, 20,000 people listening, which was cool, I thought. I don't have the work ethic Biz has. I was like, oh, I'm in for it. I made good money playing. But Biz has made us what we are. And I feel like he's kind of like, you're out there like panicking about the game the next day and
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
stop
100%.
Aaron Donald. And he's like making
Yeah.
business calls.
Never give up a sec to him. But yeah, 100%. 100%. Hope he retires.
He's gonna hear this.
Please retire.
Who's the toughest guy you face?
Fucking Chandler Jones ate my lunch this year.
Really?
Oh,
yeah, he ate my shit up for sure.
If you give up one sack, is that like a bad
It's a bad game.
No way.
Yeah, I gave up 2 sacks in that game. And
Wow.
a lot of hits and a lot of pressures.
So it's
But it was the first game.
With the dude.
It was the
That's
first
dude
game
for
coming
sure.
off like my knee and stuff like that. I think if we went
first game.
first game coming off, probably wasn't ready to do it.
So when you're going through a game, which I'm guessing you haven't had many like that, like third quarter of that game, are you like, fuck, I can't really stop him right now? Like,
Oh, that game, like halfway through, after the first quarter, I was like, get me the fuck out of here.
Oh, what a
I
panic.
can't wait for this shit to end because I know Will's watching with my wife. And,
Oh,
and
God,
these
dude,
boys,
it really
like
was
a
tough.
couple of these dudes back here are big Titans fans. And in my head, you're just thinking about all these guys and you're thinking about your family, like, yo, I'm just letting everybody in my life down right
Isn't
now.
that nuts? I
There's
remember
no one
having
coming to
that.
save me.
And I wasn't nearly the level player you were in the NHL, but I remember thinking like making a mistake, like, oh my God, my parents, my friends. Like do you have a time in your life where you're kind of like, I almost look forward to retirement. I'm not trying to say that that's anytime near, but you know what I mean? I
yeah.
remember thinking that.
Probably that whole entire game.
Yeah, no shit.
I was like, I'm fucking done with this, dude.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. You know what I've realized, especially talking with somebody, the less I care, the better I play.
Yeah.
If I start caring too much, then it's fucking. So I started getting real, like, I still would watch all my film and take my notes before games because we have a whole week, not like you guys, who were playing every 3 days or something like that. So we would go, I would still focus on all that, but like I would purposely try to be more lax. The way I talked, the way I handled myself in the building, and like towards the end of the season.
Even walking in. Like
I played a whole lot better. Nice. Like the last back half of the season, like the first 8 games, shaky, injury, like it was kind of like this weird, like kind of growing a little bit.
But you were going through different injuries too. Like he had like hurt your back.
When you get a knee, or anything, then it's the hip, then it's the toe, then it's all this crazy shit.
My ankle ended my career, and now it's like it's gone from there to there to there. You know it. It's awful.
Low back's tighten up. Yeah,
it's awful.
Shoulder for some reason.
Honey, I need another massage. She's like, get a Theragun.
Get a Theragun.
Hey, Theragun's fucking awesome though.
Yeah, until you have to do it to yourself, like backwards, like this, trying to get my lower back.
That shit works though, bro. I'll go outside in on the QL, and then I'll lean over the bed and like pop my low back.
Oh, great feeling when that crack happens.
Yeah,
God,
it's like an orgasm.
It's like Russian gas.
I didn't know what this Russian gas shit is.
Oh, we get some Russian gas in the NFL. We'll be Derrick Henry will run for 4,000 yards.
That's what we need.
How did you and Biz like become boys the way you are like now?
We became.
Is it just you two doing the pod now?
No, so RA,
four guys.
Rear Admiral is him and I started together.
His name is Rear Admiral.
His name's Brian McGonigal.
Oh no!
Hot fucking name.
His name's Brian McGonigal.
He's Rear Admiral.
He's
take a lap on that.
Born and raised from Boston, Massachusetts. He named himself Rear Admiral when he started writing for Barstool. Something to do with like
anal.
Yeah, like I try to get it. I don't. When he tells sex stories, I want to throw up, so I don't really listen. But he's Rear Admiral.
Can you like spark notes me one of his stories?
No. Biz asked him the other day if he had a squirter. I was like, I just threw up. But it's us three. Grinelli's the producer. And Biz and I, so we met. We were on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, the Pittsburgh Penguins AHL team. And then Biz got put on waivers. He had got claimed by Phoenix. One of my best buddies played on, at the time, Phoenix Coyotes. Now it's Arizona. We stayed in touch a little bit. But then, like, what was it? 8 years later, we both were kind of at the end of the career. We both got tryout offers with the St. Louis Blues.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, kind of like, I think it probably happens in the NFL where you get an invite to camp, maybe.
You'll get like workouts and they'll fly you in and there'll be a few of you in a position group doing the same workout.
So hockey, you get a PTO, they call it. So you basically go to camp on a tryout, you get the per diem every day. And then at the end of the camp, hopefully you get a contract, maybe an HL deal. So Biz and I, we were the two PTO guys. We knew each other before. We're kind of loud guys. So in the room, we were like, Biz calls us, we were the jesters. Like the Blues loved us. All the guys loved us. The GM, he was like a big fan, but they didn't have room for us. Neither one of us were very good. But in that time, Biz and I spent a lot, we'd just hang out all day. We'd just, after practice, we'd go back, we'd go to dinner together, we'd hang out. And we were talking, we're like, we should do something. Like when we're done, we should just like, our other buddy, Keith Yandel, he said like, we should just go to the rink in the mornings when we retire and just sit in the locker room, get dressed, but then not go on the ice and just tell stories and talk to each other. Like some sort of like,
funny as hell.
Yeah, just like still be in the game, but without having to play. And so sure as shit, I retired before him. I put on Twitter, I want to start a podcast. What do you think? Tagged him. He was still playing. He said, dude, I can't do it yet. You can't do it right till you're done. That's probably why you don't do it during the season.
Yeah.
You know, and so,
hockey's its own bird, like we've already talked about.
Yeah,
like
it's different and
way different.
And he was in the AHL, so he's like, dude, and he had just gotten signed by this AHL team. He had nothing going, and so he's like, dude, I can't right now. I was like, all right, well, whenever you want, you're in. And then this Rear Admiral, who I had met like one time, he reached out, and I was like, all right, I'll do it with you. And I didn't even like meet him for a beer first. Like looking back, I probably wouldn't have started the pod had I met him for a beer first. I'm glad I didn't. But we hit it off. We did like 10 to 15 episodes. Barstool picked us up. And then
was he with Barstool while you guys were doing this pod?
Yeah, but he was never paid. He was always just writing Bruins blogs.
And then he did a podcast with you and it was probably
we did the podcast, and so he could put it on the blog, but it wasn't like under the Barstool umbrella. And then Dave was like, all right, we want to bring you guys in. And I want to say we did, I'd actually love to know the exact number. I'm going to say 50 more episodes, and then Biz retired, came in, and then we took off. So we had gotten to kind of where I think the max of me, RA, and Grinelli would have gotten. I don't know. You know, I had no interest in doing any more work. I was like, this is cool. One day a week we meet up, and then Biz came and just, it exploded.
Put it to the moon.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was great. But Biz is like, he's one in a million, that guy. He's a funny human being who's way smarter than people think.
Oh yeah, he's like a hustler. You even hear it when you're on the phone.
Street
with
smart.
him. You know what I mean? He'll be like, "I'll call you in 5," or you'll try to call him. He'll ignore right away and be like, "I'll call you in 5." And
Yeah,
then
he's
he'll call
got
it
this
back. Hey,
ability.
buddy.
He's got this ability where when the call ends, he hangs up like before. It's like he's always the first to hang up. So now I'm like, as our call's kind of coming to an end, I try to beat him and I still can't. Like all of a sudden he's hung up first. I'm like, you motherfucker. I want to hang up on you before you hang up on me. It's a weird thing he's got control of me over.
You think that's a smarter thing?
Yeah, probably.
It seems
I'm
like
not
it,
exactly
yeah.
a genius.
Can
you guys tell?
No one's gonna fight you on that. Not one of us is gonna fight.
I've been wanting to ask, like, you get drafted 5th overall, you sign like, I want to say you made like $24 million in the NHL. You get traded a couple times, you end up in the minors. What made you want to continue to play like after your peak? Like you played on the Olympic team,
Yeah.
right? And then you play in the minors, and then
Ooh,
you
that's a
even
good reminder.
and then you even travel overseas and play in Russia. Like, why did you continue to play when you had already kind of like made your bag and made your living?
Man,
Especially when you had that talk with your dad too. Now,
At the time, I went to Russia when I went to Russia when I was 31. I just wasn't done. I didn't want to go to Russia. I wanted to be in the NHL, but I also wasn't ready to be like done playing. And it was
because you were scared of the transition.
yeah. I actually was never that scared. I actually was never that scared of the transition because I had money and I knew I was set. But having known now, if I knew now what I knew, like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I would have been scared. But I really wasn't. But I now if I'm like, holy shit, like I would have kind of been panicked because I know so many guys now that don't know what to do. And so I just, more than anything, I still like really love the game. And I didn't love playing it as much because my ankle was so fucked up and my brain was telling me to do things and the body just, it couldn't do it. It was hard, but I wasn't ready to just give it up.
That'd be a horrible feeling.
It's the worst feeling in the world. I'll never forget talking to a coach in Edmonton. He's like, you got to be here on this play. We're going over video. I was like, Smitty, this guy Steve Smith had a long career. I was like, I was telling myself, like I was there in my mind, and then you just can't do it. It's just like every athlete realizes it. But it was an awful feeling, and it was tough. But when I kept playing and I went to Russia, actually after Russia, I went to Sweden too. I still wasn't done. I was like, one more year, and it was pretty good money.
I feel like Sweden's a much nicer deal than Russia.
That's the other thing. And I was like, and it's Sweden, everyone speaks English, it's nice.
Yeah.
And I played 2 games, and that's when it was real bad. And I retired after the first period of the second game in Sweden.
You quit?
You quit mid-game?
Yeah, it was mine. So the first game,
Vontae Davis.
That's
the
a
first
tough fucking
game
look.
was on the road, and I was like -2. I was horrible. I'm like, holy
What's -2
shit.
mean?
What's that mean?
You're on the ice for 2 teams. The goals, the team, 2 goals for the team you're playing against scores.
Yeah.
And you're on the ice for none your team scores. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So if I'm on the ice for 3 my team score, 2 they score, I'm +1.
Yeah.
So I was -2, like kind of a liability. And then I go out in the first period of our
Why does that make you a liability when there's 4 other guys?
Because you can kind of like, if you were to watch the game and know the game, you kind of know whose main fault it is.
Mhm.
Like, it was kind of like my guy. It's
Yeah.
like, if Chandler Jones sacks the QB, like there's a bunch of guys in the field, but he beat you. And
yeah.
sorry,
hurt.
I know what happens.
I thought I kind of got past that in this conversation, you know?
I didn't forget, man. I'm gonna
It's
look
funny.
at the video tonight.
I keep bringing this up to save my own ass. He had 5 sacks in that game, and people think I gave up all 5.
He had 5.
He had 5. He set a franchise fucking
I thought
record,
you
dude.
said 1 or 2.
No, I gave up 2. He got 5 of those fuckers. We gotta get him on the pod,
my
dude. I think it'd be so funny to have him
God.
on. And also,
Have him smoke
Terrifying.
that shit he smoked in New England before you have him on.
what did he fucking smoke there?
Isn't that the guy in New England who got booted from the team because he was like on like smoking that synthetic weed?
Was that him?
That was Chandler
I'm not
Jones.
sure. You would know since you're a Pats fan.
Yeah,
I know
Chandler
his
Jones,
brother-
went into a police station with no
his brother's
shirt
a big
on
coke guy.
synthetic weed. He was
I mean, the
fucked.
family, they have their
His
history,
brother,
the
his brother's
family.
John Jones from the UFC.
Yeah, and he got busted with the drugs, right?
Yeah.
And brother
Yeah,
Arthur Jones, who also played in the
he's a
NFL.
little-
Hey, have you done that synthetic weed before?
No, I actually have no idea what it is.
Fucking terrifying
and
stuff.
people
Dude.
say you can buy it in a gas station. I'm like, how can you buy that?
You used to be able to. I think it was like a big thing in like
What is it?
2008, 2009. It's
K2 Spice?
It's spice, but like K2,
Bro,
But how do
salvia.
you smoke it? What?
Just like
It's a one hitter.
it looks like
So
Jeez.
So you've done it, Jack.
Right.
we,
back when I was like,
when I was 16, I did it
Some people
too
were
on
dying
spring
for
break,
that shit.
yeah.
and they had like levels like 5x, 10x, 20x, 40x, 80x. That's what salvia was. And me and a bunch of friends did like a one hitter of like the 5x. And dude, 20 minutes of us just laughing, having a fucking blast.
So like a good thing.
Yeah, I almost peed my pants 3 times. I was laughing so hard. Like you know, you can't breathe. You got to stop
Yep.
laughing somehow. Like that's how good of a laugh it was. So the next day we're like, let's go to the smoke shop and get some more. And we're like 16. We don't know what the fuck's going on. We're just kind of figuring life out. And we go to this place and we're like 20x, 4 times the laugh. We're for sure going to do it. And so, and the way this shit,
myself 12 times.
Doing the math, dude.
yeah, and the way this shit works is like it's like a one
Oh,
hit
so it actually
thing.
look like
Yeah,
weed.
it burns super fast. And so what it would be is like I pass you the pipe, you would smoke it, and then whenever you're done or whatever. So my buddy takes it. We're in this hotel room. It's like him, me, and the girl I was dating at the time. And he takes the 20x and he takes it, inhales, and oh no.
Oh
And he
shit.
lays down. It's like instantly lays down. He's like not responsive for like 15 minutes. He's like, no,
Give me that shit.
Like he'll like, he's like not dying, but like he's just like staring up, kind of doing this, like mumbling, and like won't say a word to us. We're like, hey, Ethan, or Brown Bear, I called him Brown Bear. Are you okay? What's the deal? And then gets up like 20 minutes later, is like, don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that.
No way.
And I'm a loyal cat, so I'm like, well, if you're gonna do it, I have to do it. I gotta fucking do it. So I
Even though you
take
told me
this,
not to.
you told me not to.
I'm loyal.
So you
I'm
take the
still doing it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, like I had like something to prove. I fucking take this thing and I hit it and I put it down like that. I put it like on the counter, and as I'm turning back to my friends, it's like frame, 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 frame. And
Done.
I'm looking around. I can see the whole room around me while looking forward. Like that's like pictures. You know when you see like a collage of pictures? That's what the whole room looked like to me. And then Brown Bear and the girl Jackie, who I was dating, are like kind of staring at me. So I believe in my head that antlers are coming out of my head now.
Oh, so
I'm-
you're this is Chandler Jones.
I'm freaking the fuck out. So like antlers, and they're kind of looking at me like, what's he gonna do? Because we just dealt with Brown Bear having a fucking shit show for 15 minutes.
But you had to
And
do it because you're loyal.
I get up. Yeah, what a fucking idiot. I get up, I run out of the hotel room, and I like take off all my clothes, get completely naked.
That's what he did.
Dude, oh no shit.
That's what he did. He went to the police station naked or with no shirt on.
Dude, that's wild. So I did
That's
that.
why he
15
beat
minutes
you
later, it
for
was
the
over. I
sack.
woke up in a bathtub pretty much.
You woke up in a bath.
Yeah. They brought me back in the room after I took all my clothes
How
off.
long?
15 minutes.
Oh wow, so it's like quick almost.
Fast to the point.
Yeah, what the fuck are they? How are they selling this stuff?
I don't think it's like legal anymore. Like they don't let that shit go down anymore.
Jesus
But it's like
Christ!
what all the kids would do because like smoking weed was so bad, but like, oh, this stuff's not illegal. You can do this. And I think that was
Yeah.
like our thought process. Yeah.
You could beat the drug
Okay,
test
Jack.
by doing that.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, you think?
Oh, people would have like seizures. I think one dude on a football field had a seizure one time. Like it was a fucking big deal. Like our first 2 years of college,
Oh,
2009,
yeah, I remember Bo
2010.
having a team
Are you guys the
meeting
same
on it.
age?
He's a year older than me.
Wild. Yeah, I'm a
He's
year older.
almost
You guys met when you were on the
you're
Titans.
31.
32.
Oh, he's 2 years older.
How
than me.
did you guys have the idea of this?
It's kind of a fun story. Go ahead, Will.
So,
He needs his body armor.
so when I was playing for the Titans, like I was kind of like, I would kind of like bring up like doing a podcast. Like Taylor and I actually met over podcast.
Yeah, we love the
we were
Joe
like
Rogan
sitting there, and I
podcast.
was kind of a new free agent, and I was there. It was like me and Mike Campanero and Taylor. We like
You know
had a
Mike
little-
Campanero?
No.
Oh, okay.
We had like a little breakfast club, and I think I was talking about like Ben Greenfield maybe, or Taylor and I were talking about performance or
We
recovery.
had like a breakfast club where
And
we'd
I was
always
like-
sit down and talk and hang
Yeah.
out.
I'm sorry. And we good?
No, that's
And
just fucked up.
No one would ever have to tell Biz to do that.
All right, there we go.
I'm the new biz.
And so I would Taylor and I would talk about recovery and stuff because we do the sauna and cold tubs and shit after. I was like, bro, you gotta listen to Ben Greenfield on podcast.
He's like a
his
biohacker.
podcast. He's like a biohacker for like performance and recovery. And then we were talking about like a Joe Rogan pod. So we kind of got to know each other over podcasting. But you want to say something?
Well, I want to say that the Titans were doing this podcast. They had the TOP, OTP, the official Titans podcast. And they wanted me to go do it. And I was like, Will, you should come with me.
I just joined the team.
We just met like 2 days ago. And people were tweeting when Will got signed, like, yo, Will Compton and Taylor want to be best friends.
No way.
I remember looking it up being like, I'm
How do people
excited
know
to see
that?
what this dude's about. Because Will had like the, who's the WWE guy that does the beer, more beer, tequila? Steve Austin. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Stone Cold, baby.
And they had like clips of him, and I would always do stupid shit also. So they're like, these two are like a match made in heaven. And then I had to go do that, and we did that, and it was a fucking blast.
No
We had a
way.
blast.
Yeah.
And, like I had always like.
What year is this?
This is 2018.
Mhm.
Okay, so podcast's relatively still new. I mean, like,
we started in
Right.
April 19.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that year I wasn't getting a lot of burn. I wasn't playing a lot. I was on special teams. I was a backup. And the guy ahead of me, like, you know how it is. You need it as a death player, you need a guy ahead of you to get injured to kind of get in there and play. And that didn't happen for me. So low key, I was thinking about real estate. I was thinking about, what might I do? Because I was 29 years old. I was going to be 30 next year, an undrafted guy, white. Like, I'm going to be a minimum contract guy from here on
That
out.
white
Like,
thing's
I'm gonna
as
have
a
to- I'm gonna
deal
have to-
too.
oh,
Yeah.
you think?
Being a white-
I
being a white
watched
grinder?
an NFL game.
Yeah. And
Racist.
so
Doing the
I-
NHL would be
Racist.
great.
I was kind of thinking about
That sounds
podcasting.
great.
I was kind of thinking about podcasting a lot more. And I remember being like Taylor's basement. We were just hanging out one night, and him and his wife were like, my wife would tell me to do it, but like your wife tells you, it's kind of like Biz telling you. But when somebody else tells you, you're like, oh, okay. And Taylor were like, yeah, I mean, you should look at doing it. Like, start writing it up and stuff like that. And so I remember thinking about doing it. I was kind of off and on. And I went to a radio show one night, and I was on the phone with Taylor. I remember I was driving. It was night. It was raining, and I was about to pull up to go do the radio show with Amy or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was telling Taylor, I was like, hey, I think I'm going to do it. And he's like, man, I'll do it with you if you want me to. And I was like, bro, that would make me feel so
Is
much
that how
better.
when I thought you asked me to be on it?
I think I was just
Here we
talking
go.
about it. I might have.
No. I'm not even trying to.
I was thinking or trying to talk
You might have
myself
been like,
into
come
it.
on, Taylor.
Because when you told the story in the past, you're like, I really want to do it, but you'd feel more comfortable if you had somebody to do it with.
Yeah. That which is true.
Oh, doing it alone would be
Like
impossible.
and a couple of my
Like
peers.
now I love doing like solo pods, like doing every once in a
Really?
while. I think it's a blast.
You
Because
can
you can
just
say dumb
talk?
jokes and fuck around. Yeah, I think it's fun.
Wow.
But if I had to do one every week like this, it'd be a fucking
Yeah.
hard deal.
Yeah. And so you kind of know how you need your peers to kind of influence you too. Like a couple guys in the locker room was like, hey, Comp, you should have your own podcast. I'm thinking, oh shit, I've been talking about it. Like, man, maybe I should do it. And then when Taylor's like, I'll do it with you. I was
Game
like, all right, I'm
changer.
fucking in, bro. So I'm like getting stuff up. And then in January comes the season over. We lose on a winning in game.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'm
against the
kinda-
Colts.
I'm like lining up to meet with people. I'm looking at all the pods I want it to look like and what I want it to look like on social media and all the influences I've had with podcasting.
Which is like the opposite of what it looks like now.
But this
What do you
is
mean?
great.
The podcast you wanted to start?
yeah, the den and stuff like that. But as far as two share, like this is a fighter and the kid set up.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
social
yeah,
media.
yeah.
I know what you mean. And so January comes and Taylor's like, hey, I'm going to go to California for a couple months maybe.
No, I said a
The
couple weeks. I
off-season.
said a couple weeks at first. Ended up being until April.
Yeah, it ended up being until April. And I was like, bro,
We
if
just
you
start
Hey,
this thing.
I was in the real San Diego, not the Russian one.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I was
yeah.
feeling myself
yeah,
out
yeah,
there.
bro, I got to get out
Yeah.
there. I'm gonna train. I'm gonna do this. And Taylor and I had just known each other for like half a year at that point.
Yeah.
And so I kind of don't know what our off seasons are like. We had just trained in the summer, but I'm like, all right, bro, are you sure you want to do this podcast? Like you promise you want to do this podcast? I'll wait on you. That I'll wait for you forever. But I was like, I'll wait on you. But if not, I want to get going because I don't know if I'm gonna be playing next year based on the year I just had.
Yep.
And I got to strike while the iron's hot. And so he's like, I'll do it. I was like, all right. I waited. He came back. Well, I was dabbling with the idea of calling it the Den podcast. I was into like, I still like having the one-on-one conversations, but wolves and shit. But anyway,
Not actually like, not like.
Who thought of the bus?
this broad out of Chicago. Were you going to say you?
Crazy because I thought of the bus, but go ahead.
No. Oh, Taylor, you thought of the
Culture
bus
broad.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. My fault. The bus idea.
I thought you started talking
producer-
about some broad. I was like,
I
God
thought you
damn.
were talking about the name.
I
The
got
name.
long hair.
Oh,
What
Bussin' With The
fun.
Boys?
Yeah, Bussin' With The Boys.
I thought that was our thing.
No, because remember at first we didn't want to do anything for the boys related because
Hey, I'm glad you're here to find this out.
we
No,
didn't
this
remember
is
we
great.
didn't want the boys on the team thinking we were kind of running with something that we were all doing like together type
Yeah,
of
because we had this whole thing going during the season. It was like, we're
Boys.
for the boys. We're
because
all for
remember
the
we were
boys.
thinking about two peas in a pod, two
Every
boys in a
team
bus.
says so.
Yeah, but not the way we were.
Okay.
You know what I'm
You guys
saying?
are that great. Yeah, fuck,
We're
what'd you win the
different.
Super
We're the
Bowl?
same but
Yeah.
different, dude.
But I was-
We're like mean girls, dude.
I was
Every day
with,
every Wednesday we wear pink.
I was meeting with the producers
what
at the
happens?
time that they were going to help us. And he's like, hey, what do you think about this bus? Like, it's out back. And they showed it to me. I was like, I don't fucking want to do it. I was like, Taylor's going to fucking love this when he sees it, though. So let's just wait till he gets there. Taylor comes. He's like,
You knew it?
oh, that's fucking rad, dude. Let's
This
do this.
is awesome.
Yeah.
This
And
thing
he goes,
fucks.
it wasn't like this at all. Like, look at that little thing on the door right there. It basically looked like that everywhere. Chairs were
Dude,
fucking
chairs
everywhere.
are fucking everywhere.
Wall-
None of these?
No, all
Oh,
the stickers
yeah,
were
this
here.
was there. But
Okay.
But none of
wasp
this
nest,
stuff
like, it was
the-
a bus. It was a rusted,
Yeah,
broken.
but you guys got the Chevy, you got Whistle Pay, you guys
Yeah.
are killing it.
Yeah,
And Taylor's
most durable, reliable vehicle out there. The
Taylor
Chevy
goes,
Silverado.
bro, like, I'll throw 10 grand into it. And he goes, if it works, then that's fucking awesome. They think they can try and make it work, then that's good. And if not, I'll just keep it in my backyard. Like, it's fucking cool. And, I'm sitting there overthinking,
with
kind of
this bus.
stressed. Like, all right, let's just fucking do it because I'm ready to get going. And so we do it, man. And we start ripping a couple episodes. Like, I mean, it looked way different. We were in the heat back then in like the 98-degree weather. Some gal was like, when we were thinking of names, we were talking about like 2 boys, 1 bus for 2 peas in a pod. Or we were talking,
Yeah.
we were trying to come up with different
Two
shit.
peas in a pod, you both would be fucking bankrupt right now. 2 peas in a pod.
2 boys in a bus, dude. But somebody was like, Bussin' With The Boys, and we were kind of like, we were getting to where we were ready to shoot our episodes, and we
Yeah,
were kind
but
of like,
we
let's
also thought
fucking do
Bussin'
it.
With The Boys was kind of like stupid.
We thought it
didn't
was
like
kind
it
of
at
cool at first, and remember Taylor goes, oh yeah, I thought of stuff cooler, and we were both like,
Yeah, Taylor does have that influence on us too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Taylor's my wife.
Okay.
And she can shit on people with the best of them.
Yeah.
But in this situation, like all this stuff, she's like, yeah, could be better. And
Yeah.
it gets in your head fast.
Gets in your head
Gets in your
quick.
fucking melon.
So we
I
backlogged
remember
a few
though-
episodes, and this is fucking, we just took off from there.
Whatever you're about to say. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Any name you hear at the beginning, it's never gonna be like, yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I feel like, because when like RA thought of Spittin Chiclets, I was like, I don't know,
What does Spittin Chiclets mean?
like, because
Spitting teeth?
you're shooting the shit, but you're losing teeth playing hockey, spitting. Like, that's kind of what I said. I was like, I don't know, man, but I feel like what I more meant. There's never gonna be a name you're like, yes, we're in. I
Right.
feel like it's like gonna be like, okay, we can work with that. That's
Right,
gonna be
right,
the
right.
beginning
People got to
of
make the
most.
name.
Yeah,
For
true.
real.
You know what I
Spittin'
mean?
Chiclets is a cool ass name though.
Yeah,
think
thank
it's
you,
rad.
thank you. So is Bus with the Boys. I love it, Bussin' in the Boys. I mean, I think that
Depends
it's
who you wanna
cool.
be.
Have you guys gotten into the interviewing retired NFL? Like, how do you have an interview every episode, or is it
Sometimes we have interviews, sometimes we do just ourselves. Like I think
in mid-season? Are you just talking on your own since he's kind of?
no, there's usually somebody on.
We've gotten lucky the last couple years because last year we had COVID when I was on the Titans. Taylor and I were both on the Titans. Fortunately, we were winning. So, winning, you feel better doing the podcast.
Oh, if you're losing, it's
If we're
tough to
losing,
show
we
up.
probably wouldn't have. I mean, who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
But Taylor, unfortunately, had torn his ACL. But COVID-wise, players couldn't be around each other. So Taylor would run them solo. And we would look at Zooming guys in. But we kind of hate the Zoom thing.
It
Like,
sucks.
Yeah, I like
sucks,
this
but
Zoom
it's
thing.
also
Sucks.
like you
And
can
that's how
get
we do
whoever
it.
you want, right?
That's how we do it. And I actually, that $1 million worth of game, another bar,
They're crushing it, bro.
They don't
Killing
do one interview not in person.
They travel to people.
Yeah, and it's
They
like
crush
I
it,
wish,
bro.
but like
That's what we'll probably have to start doing
but
if we
Biz
want to.
works and like I don't know. It's hard to do, but ideally, like an interview on Zoom compared to in person is a different planet. It sucks in Zoom, and when you do you want to say something, he's trying to say something, you interrupt each other on the Zoom, and
you
you
all
all
stop.
And God
for like
forbid
a
there's a
full
lag in the internet.
Oh, exactly.
And then you all talk, and then everyone stops talking, and then someone goes. It's like, what are we playing? Red light, green light?
That
What the fuck
awkward
is
moment
this?
where
Yeah.
everyone's looking at each other like
Yeah.
online.
And
you're
in your
like,
head, you're like, we're gonna cut the shit out of this part. Like, make sure it's no fucking dead
no, you're
areas.
like, say something, say something.
And then you go to say something. Will says the same thing.
Yeah. Biz
dude.
makes it sound like you're tough to reel in.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, you really are me.
I am.
He really
Hey,
is me in the
it'll be
pod.
like- I'll
me
say
and you
this,
were like
but
the
I'll say
same.
this,
Biz
and,
I've said it to Biz and I will lifelong be like really good friends because we're always really honest with each other. And I told Biz, I said, Biz, I've made money. I love golf. I have 2 young kids. I love this podcast, and I've actually gotten more into it the past like couple years. But I'm not gonna be like changing everything to like make this work. Like let's plan stuff out, and I'll be there. But in terms of like the way you are and how you're willing to go anywhere and do anything at a moment's notice, I'm not like that. But I think because we're honest with each other, it works. So there's times he's frustrated with me, no doubt, but that's just kind of how it is. Because in the end, like, I'm not going to sacrifice kind of my happiness for work because of the money I made before. even though I love my job, it's just like, I think that makes me better at my job too.
What do you do besides this?
Play golf.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
All right,
I hear
cool.
you go on an annual badass trip with the boys. I'm talking PJs, helicopters picking you up.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten hurt since COVID, but we have like a bunch of European, Swedish guys. We go over to Europe, get helicopters to the course. It's sick. Then like at the end of Scotland one year, Henrik Zetterberg,
Helicopter to the course,
Nicholas
man.
Backstrom, and Eric Carlson got us like a big jet, like a big jet to go to Spain. We finished the trip off there. So
Spain
it's
from
pretty
where?
sick. From Scotland.
Oh, fuck.
We went to Mallorca. It was great.
Yeah, that's
But-
fucking hard.
Yeah, it's legit. It was awesome. So I will say though, like I've gotten more into like every year that goes on, I'm more into the pod. I think because like you can only play so much golf. I love it, but I also am like, all right, let's kind of try to make a legacy here with the pod and try to do what we can. But
It's so. I think the podcasting is so cool.
you guys know it's a lot of people think it's very easy, and I don't really blame them. Like, dude, you show up to work one day a week. I'm like, well, we have one show a week, but it's not really one day a week because you're preparing for the show throughout the week. You're doing interviews that we bank throughout the week. Then when you do the show, you know, we record 2-3 hours. Our shows are long now. They're like 3 to 4 hours
Dude,
every
they're
time.
long as fuck.
Yeah, they're
man.
long, which is
You guys were doing
we
two
did
a
two a
week.
week.
But why wouldn't you split the 3 hour? Like, why wouldn't you do 2 a week? Why'd you go back to one?
because every time we get on, when we get on, no matter what, it's 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
So if it's 3 hours, why don't you do like an hour and a half and then do an hour and a half on Wednesday?
That would be a good argument, but it's tough because hockey, like we go into the main stories we have and we end up going off onto tangents. But if you were to do 2 times a week in hockey, which we did, there's not that much going on. It's kind of hard. There's a lot of times on the second episode during the week, you're like, oh, we don't have much here. And so I guess we could kind of go a little shorter each time, but it's worked out better, I think. Our listeners have gone up since we went to once a week, and there's, you know, you get complaints no matter what online, but it is what it is.
So you
we
guys
don't
don't
get
feel-
any complaints.
No shit.
People love our
That's
shit.
because they
Yeah,
know you'll
zero.
dummy them. They know that I'm got my head taken off by
I
a
don't know.
Calgary
Those
Flame.
keyboard warriors. When it's football season,
Keyboard warriors are
no one
crazy.
fucking gets after me. No one gets after me more than keyboard warriors. But on this pod,
Isn't it nuts?
people fucking love it. It's
Hey, so
fucking wild.
So I used to I got on Twitter in 2011. And
Hilarious, by the way. I love you're a big loving fucking calling people clowns. I think you're
I
hilarious.
appreciate that. But I got on it, and then I really started struggling in Edmonton, kind of the lowest part of my career as my career ended. And people in Canada, like, it's fucking crazy. And so they would torture me, and I would get so mad. I would block people. I would get so fucking mad. And now when people chirp me and like say they hate me on the pod, I don't care. It's so weird. Like you said, like I used to get so mad about the haters in hockey, but on the pod, I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you
fuck.
say.
Kinda
I don't block
fuels it.
anyone anymore.
Yeah.
But people I get now, they're like, hey, I love the pod. Will you unblock me? I'm like, no, dude, you're the only fucking person staying blocked, you prick, because you told me I sucked at hockey. That's the only thing I cared
It's
about.
weird playing a professional sport and being on Twitter because if someone tweets at me and says, "Oh, you're a dog shit person," it's like, well, this person doesn't know me. Who fucking knows? But like, if it's
Yeah.
Sunday and I play a game, people get to see how good I really am at football. So that's something they can really say
Yep.
that at one point, and I've gotten away from a little bit, like can fucking hurt.
Oh,
You
dude,
say
it
that
really,
you're hard on yourself.
It
Yeah.
really, really.
You feel like I had a trash game and then you fucking refresh your thing and it's like, you fucking suck. Just something that simple.
Oh,
From a dude with 12 followers
I know.
You're
It
just
didn't,
like,
it didn't
with the
matter.
fucking egg, the little egg.
Goddamn fucking egg, dude.
Dude.
You just want to cry.
And
And
it's
I-
like,
I remember-
God damn.
I remember dreading. I was -3 in a game in Edmonton. It was a Saturday night hockey night in Canada
-3,
game.
dude.
So
Fucking
sad.
liability.
I remember
I know it
just-
too, yeah.
I remember dreading clicking on Twitter. Like, it's like that probably means mentally I should maybe delete the thing if I'm like going like this to like slide down. It's like,
Yeah.
piece of shit, scumbag, pussy ankles, suck on this, you blah. I was like, oh my God, I wanted to cry. I just go home and get ice cream and drink. It was tough.
Bro, I'd have a buddy. We get on the plane after the game, and you
It
know we just
sucks.
lost or something. Be like, hey, his name was Spencer Long. He'd be like, hey, Spence, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just gonna go fucking punish myself on Twitter real quick. Type in his name and just fucking feed how bad he played.
And I'll say this, like, not maybe, it's definitely because I was on the other side of getting the hate, but I would never, ever write to somebody like you sucked at this game. Like, I think it's so odd that people like feel the need. I have good buddies who go at like Patriots players, like you fucking suck on Twitter. I'm like, dude, why? What are you doing? Like, how weird is that to write that to someone? I think.
Yeah.
Like it's like almost something about them in a way. Like you want to
Fans
like
have a weird sense of
that's what it
entitlement.
is,
They have a
man.
weird sense of entitlement.
Yeah,
like I've been a fan since this long. Like I deserve this. Like
Yep.
yeah, listen,
sorry, bro.
team's gonna thrive or not without you, bub.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you.
I used to tell my guys in the bar, I remember I was eating a steak in Edmonton and I was struggling, like I said, and I was eating a steak. I'm at the fuck. And I'm like, this guy comes up, he's like on the shoulder. And he's like, you're fucking horrible. I'm like, dude.
In
You
person?
gotta respect that though.
I'm
If
like,
someone told me I was horrible in person, hey, you know,
I'm like, bro, I'm trying to eat this filet mignon. Can you leave me alone right now? And then I told him, I go, you should have shot more fucking pucks, dude. I'm sorry you didn't make it. I know you played junior B. But don't be mad at me because I made it and you didn't. You think I stink.
I started doing this thing on Instagram and Twitter when I get a DM from somebody and they're like, you fucking suck, like you're this, you're that. I'll DM them back and be like, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like I'm coming back from a knee. And every single one, I've probably done this 75 to 100
Sorry,
times.
man, love you.
Everyone's like, hey man, I'm just trying to motivate you. I fucking love you, this, that, and the other. I can show you countless
Dude,
fucking
That's what you
DMs.
should be like, you pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking
your
shit,
guns, you
bro.
little
hard, you
bitch.
piece of shit.
Just keep saying it. Fucking sheep, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a brutal thing. The whole social media it's just hard for athletes, and I know people have no sympathy whatsoever for people who make all this money. But it's like when you hear constantly how bad you are, and the problem is people also really take into the effect when you see how good you are, because when you light it up, you're so good, you're lighting it up. It's like, well, if you're reading that, like you're gonna read the same stuff when you're doing bad.
And it's wild because you can see 10 things that say you're a stud,
And the one,
and you see one that's like, you fucking suck, and you're like, damn.
I know.
And this dude's
Isn't that
fucking
nuts?
in butt-fuck nowhere, Kentucky, probably, living in his parents' basement. I care about this dude's opinion.
I know.
Or girl, whatever.
I know. It's
You know what I'm
crazy,
saying?
Man.
It's crazy.
It's like that saying too, live for the cheers, die by the booze. Kind of like what you're saying. Like you're kind of like wanting to feed your ego of people saying you're awesome.
Yeah,
Now
you're
get
good.
that
You're
one,
good
like,
enough. You're good
fuck,
enough.
it just tanks you because you're like living the high life too, and
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
celebrating you.
The thing that it's you can tell like it's so kind of fake is I'll have a good game and I'll have people shitting on me and it won't hurt near as much.
Because you know.
I know I'm like, oh. But if I had a couple fuck ups and someone says something, I'm like, damn, did I play that bad?
Or how about when
You know
you
what I'm
play
saying?
bad in your mind, but people are like, good game. You're like, no, dude, I
Dude, yes.
sucked. What are you talking about?
Yeah, these guys are no
this
fucking
pisses me off
shit.
even more. You,
Well, you probably
Muppet.
you probably don't say nothing because you're like, well, at least they kind of think I
Okay,
play.
first
good.
off,
I'm like that one guy.
Hey,
thinks
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
good.
hey, retweet that
Are the fucking
motherfucker.
Like, hey, coach, Jerry the kid from Twitter said I was good,
Yeah.
so sorry.
Send them the prayer emojis, like quote tweeting it. I'll tell you what's tough too, like when you're like trying to continue to be on Twitter and then you don't play a lot and people just fucking ream you for being
Don't
a
see
bench
out
warmer.
there, Will.
Yeah. I'll like drop a photo of me just standing on the sideline.
Bro, hey, that
Game
shit's
photos
so
from this
fucking
last
funny.
week. Shout out Roman. No free shout outs. No one out there is perfect. If you're watching this, if you're looking at me right now, boys, no one in the bedroom is perfect. Even the best ball players strike out with the bases loaded. The best golfers sometimes three-putt with the tournament on the line, and sometimes you miss an open field tackle. So if you feel like you come up short in the bedroom sometimes, that's perfectly okay. Happened to me last night. But if it's bothering you, there are now options. Go to getroman.com/bussinboys now. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation with Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your own home. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan possible, and if medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping. Very discreet, very simple. Just go to getroman.com/bussin and complete an online visit. Hang on, scroll up. Because it says go to getroman.com/bussinboys now, but it just says go to getroman.com/bussin. Do both of those. Do either one. Let us know which one's the right one. Take care of ED without leaving home. Complete an online visit today and connect with a doctor near you. Look, straightforward. Take care of your ED. getroman.com/bussinboys.
That's
Oh,
just
fuck.
hilarious.
How's the pension for you?
Good.
It's straight. Yeah.
Legit?
It's actually really good.
Based on games
Good.
played? Oh, you getting a nice pension?
Yeah, you
it's
get it
nice.
for
if you
credit
max it out, they
season.
spend $2 every one you spend.
Oh,
Up to
No,
like
you guys
30.
are talking about different things. Pension, you're talking about 401k.
Oh, okay. What's a pension?
Pension is like what you get for credited years. So since I've played 9 seasons, that equates to like 60 something $100 a month once you turn 55.
What?
Yeah, bro.
oh, you're gonna get a.
You're
boatload.
like 5,000 something, but you'll bump up to like 60. I want to say mine's like 6,500 right now. When you turn 55
When you're 55, you're going hard.
I'll probably
on
be dead at 55, dude.
401k.
I've been
50
asleep
to
like
50
4
guaranteed
times.
You got gone, so you better get that pension.
I was telling JP the other day, we're driving, and I'm like, yo, dude, like sometimes, like the first 3 weeks after the season, I'm fucked. Like talking is more difficult for me. I stutter a lot more. And I'm telling JP, we're coming from something. I'm like, does that ever happen to you? He just kind of looks out the window and goes, nah, man, that's sad.
What's wrong
Is
with
that
you?
fucking crazy? And like literally, I was like right at the end of the 3 weeks with like when I was talking to him about it, and it's been like, what's been a week since, right? Feels so much better now. It's those 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, I'm cool now. But when I first end the season and my body's like, okay, we're done, and it kind of just like lowers
Yeah,
it.
your luggage.
Yeah, you fucking
You're
no
luggage.
doubt. Okay, we gotta talk about hockey trips. This dude's fucking putting out gold right now.
Hey, he's a savant right now.
Hey,
on
oh
the
my
bike.
God.
Fucking hockey
Hey,
got
dudes.
luggage.
When you said
Oh,
that to him, you were
fucking-
hoping he'd agree. It's like when you're playing. You ever? I do this with hockey. I'd be like,
100%.
man, I'm so tired today. Like just hoping the guy. I'd be like, I feel great. It's like, no, don't say that to me.
Really, dude? I had great sleep last night. I was like, fuck
Fuck
you,
you. I was
bud.
hoping you tell me the same.
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet your goon squad over here?
Dude, the squad is kind of like just a bunch of shit had to happen.
Just
We
a
had
hog
two,
posh?
we had
Yeah.
2 guys with us in the beginning that were good dudes. They were
They were
solid.
on a
They
different
didn't
path.
get it,
They had,
though.
yeah,
They had a
didn't-
different
they
idea,
didn't get
different
what
path.
we wanted. Yeah.
And then we had we started finding a new production guys, and we found one guy to come in who had all the promises in the world, right?
He had me and Taylor in a coffee shop, and Taylor and I like, oh, fuck.
I'm sitting there walking away going, billions, bro. Fucking
Yeah.
billions are coming our
We
way.
told Taylor how to like post a story or something. We're like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, he's like, everything you didn't know is like this. And it's like, he was showing me some basic shit. He comes, and the guy in the back left over there,
Bloss.
Bloss, was with him.
Photographer.
And this dude, I think we did like 3 or 4 episodes with them, and they were like, all right,
Up
we
until
want
I
like
went to the Saints.
$8,500. And we're like, we can't fucking do that, dude. What are you
They
talking
wanted
about?
you to pay them that much.
Yeah.
It was a shitload of money.
And
For
so,
what?
I don't fucking know. He copy and pasted dudes' bios from Wikipedia as like the
Oh,
the
it's like
fucking
prep you
YouTube.
for an interview, kind of.
No, like, but even when we post the YouTube, like in the description, he'd put like the dude's Wikipedia as like the description. Like he just cut corners. He's one of those dudes that would fly to LA, land the plane, rent out a Ferrari just so he can fucking take
Yep.
pictures and
yeah,
post.
Yep.
that's a pretty specific version, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bloss hit us up. I don't know how exactly Bloss and Will were talking, and he was like, hey, I love what you guys are doing. I'd love to help out however I can.
Nice.
And Bloss is also a cop too, so he like does this kind of just to be up
So
with
he
the
gets you
boys.
off like a DUI. That's
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We hand him the cash when he pulls us
Right.
over.
We go, and we fucking hand him this
gas, and you're good.
fucking doubt. We had this one dude. Like, there's a piece of paper up there. Like if you look in the back, there's a piece of paper and it says, "I woke up today feeling it was time to tighten the fuck up." That guy name was named Matt Neely, and he was like, "Dude, the position we're in right now, Neely would have fucking loved." We've said it all the time.
He'd thrive at a bar.
He would thrive, dude. He loved Barstool too, and he was huge Titans fan, like over the top, big meme guy, and he was with us, and so it was kind of
skeptical of him.
yeah. I thought
Rightfully so, though.
I couldn't trust him because he was like such a huge Titans fan.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want this guy to be
He was
around my
on
shit.
the internet 24/7.
When you're, I would understand that. You're just like, dude, I don't know. I'm on the Titans. There's something
Yeah.
sketchy here.
Well, and like I didn't want to like say something like some, you know, when you're frustrated when
Yep.
you're playing hockey and then you're just like, man, fuck this guy or this coach, and it's like you're kind of just saying it to get it out and then you move on. Like I don't want that to stick with him, so I kept my distance. And right around like June or July of the year, what year was that? 19.
It was
It was 19.
No, yeah, it was 19.
Right around June or July 19. Like I really started like okay, this dude's like.
I trust him.
He's a boy. I trust him.
Yeah.
I like him. So we really started getting close. They were really close. And so I was suspended in 19 and he would come over during the games and he would just be so hilariously self-deprecating and talk about how like if the Titans don't score here, he's going to kill himself and all this like crazy shit. Like
He's so funny.
hilarious, dude.
Barstool meme type guy.
Dude,
Hilarious.
he would have murdered. He'd be at HQ right now killing it.
Yeah.
And then in October, or was it? Yeah, it was October. Like right when I got back to start playing, Will Compton, he like passed away in the shower.
No way.
Yeah.
Fucking passed away, bro.
Tough,
it was
dude.
tough, man.
Holy
It was
shit. How
fucking
old
tough.
was he?
20.
Like our age, right? He would have been 20.
Oh,
He
that's
He was like a
fucking
Titan
brutal.
fan legend. Like every Titan fan kind of knew who
No
Matt Neely
way.
was. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
He had this
It really
fucking
did
profile
suck.
picture of him as a frog.
Oh, bro, he
Dude,
was so funny.
He would
man.
always
Like,
post that
like,
goddamn
And
frog.
especially because he kind of like built your trust. Like at the beginning, maybe you're like,
dude,
I don't know. Like
it really hurt
that's
when he went
awful.
because like
Sorry to hear that.
it makes me. I wish I trusted him earlier because we only
Yeah.
got like 3 good months together. Where I
Oh,
like trusted
brutal.
him, we like really grew a relationship.
Well, what you guys have now is awesome. It's really
Yeah.
cool to see this. It's a good experience. I'm glad I could be a part of this.
Oh, you think it's over?
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
don't
say,
know.
you ain't
Hey,
gonna
I got
fucking
nowhere to go.
nowhere.
I got the game at
Oh, you
6:30
think you're
tomorrow night.
done, bro?
Hey, and then that's when we
drinking a little of this stuff that's out here. I thought there may be some
let's
cups
take
here
a
for us.
sip of the rye. Let's take a sip of the whistle pig. We can't just
Yeah, I
fucking
love
have it
this.
sit in there and not have a little sip.
I
of
will
whistle
say
pig.
Whistle Pig.
I'm
They're
not
not
gonna-
even a
I'm not gonna
sponsor
sit
of
here and start
Chiclets, but
mixing.
holy shit, Whistle Pig. This is great.
We all just get super quiet as we pass around. Look at that.
No, I knew Taylor was gonna be like, pussy ass sip, bitch.
I was thinking
Taylor's not
it.
gonna take a
I
shot.
was thinking it. I don't really drink a whole lot. I do love Whistle Pig though. I'm gonna drink some of this still because I've had
Dude, it's
I've been
smooth
drinking it.
too.
It's good. It's
not
really
a
good.
big deal.
So the only time I really drink whiskey is when I go play golf in Europe. We all put it in flasks, and it makes us. It
such
makes
a
us
unique
feel,
flex.
It makes us feel so like we're playing golf in
Hey,
Europe.
stop-
There's
stop
wind, there's
shouting
rain.
them
You're
out.
drinking whiskey.
Stop shouting them out, dude.
I'm not shutting them out.
You're
It's not
holding
even that good.
You're holding the bottle.
It's not that good. It's just I've had 2 shots of it, so I'm gonna keep drinking it.
Pink Whitney is like so. We found out that 2 of the biggest markets, two of the biggest markets was
Hey, you can set up that Uber.
Memphis, Tennessee, and Jackson, Mississippi.
Wait, what are you talking about?
There was a month or like a couple months span where 2 of the biggest markets selling Pink Whitney was Memphis, Tennessee, and Jackson, Mississippi. Like people have
What
no
the-
clue what Chiclets is, who I am. Like it's a pink vodka. It's like
You guys have been murdering it too, right? Like I want to say Biz was telling me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
I won't even know.
The Rock came out with his Terramana at first. This
Oh,
was
yeah,
like in the
we
first quarter
gummied
talking
The
about,
Rock.
talking about we did all this stuff, and Biz is like, yo, we fucking tripled the Rock
Yeah,
stuff.
The Rock says he's the biggest selling.
Spirits launch like some at a time.
Yeah, we've changed the game. We've changed the
Pink
game.
Whitney
So how-
still over
how did you guys
Terramana?
have so much success with
no,
it?
well, they're not really compared against grocery stores, but
You want to know a funny story?
Big. I do love the Rock though, and I'd love for him
Thank
to
you guys.
sit on
Thank
this
you
bus.
guys. Want to know something
I
funny?
don't know if that.
Want to know something funny? So we went. We did the taste test in Boston, and they bring us in.
Exactly.
So we did the taste test, and we go in, and Biz and I, my wife was there, and they have
it on the other one.
like 8 different options for us to taste. So the first one, I'm like, that's pretty good. Fuck, I like that one. Second one, I'm like, no, boom, that's done. Not the second one. Third one, okay, possibly. Let's put it near the first one. And as we get to the 8th one, it's like, all right, we got 4 that are options, 4 that are brutal. Let's go to the 4 that are options. We go through. 1, I still like. 2, actually, I don't think so. 3, let's get that with 1. 4, we're done. So we got 1 and 3. We got 2 options. And we get to 1 and 3. Boom, boom. We're getting pretty fucked up testing this thing. And so we finish. We're like, that's it. Number 3. Boom. That's the one we're going with. They're like, well, they were all the same. I'm like, what the
You're
fuck?
fucking lying.
I'm like, what do you mean they're all the same? They're like, those are all the same drink. We already picked. I'm like, it's my fucking name. I didn't get to pick.
Yo, that's
And I
so
felt so
funny.
embarrassed. I remember saying MB, I'm like, that's not going to be a fucking video. That will not be a video.
It's like it's still I don't.
No, I think I said it on
let's
the
go,
pod.
boys. No, first time we've said
I
it.
said it on the pod. I said it on
Is the video
Chicklet.
out there?
The video is like
Yeah.
edited better.
Can we get the actual video to put with this clip?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's fucking hilarious. We're like, no. First one was way better. The dude backs like same vodka, dickhead.
It's the ice melt.
Yeah, that's true. They did say that the ice that they were in there was melting it and watering it down, but
So
either way.
how did you? So when you guys got these bottles, how'd you sell them so fast? How'd you like market that so well?
We talked about it on the pod, and then what happened was we got lucky in a way that you want to get it out to everyone as quick as possible, but the fact that we couldn't get into Canada has these crazy, especially Ontario, they have like it's the LCBO where they regulate all the liquor that comes into the
What
province.
does LCBO stand for? Thank you very much.
So they like it's
Liquor
really
Control Board of Ontario.
It's really controlled. So, but all of a sudden, because it was in Pennsylvania or it was in Massachusetts and the few states it was in, and we're talking about it, and people are putting it on social that like the fact that they couldn't get it like helped us.
Yeah.
You know, where it was like, it was really building up, like, we want that, we want that.
Yeah.
So I think that really kind of helped. And then, you know, Canadians are drunks. So
And
once,
you guys are monsters
my
in
wife's
Canada
Canadian.
with like probably listenership, right?
I think our listeners are 50-50. I think
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing. It is a
you
good
guys,
thing.
you guys are like the best
Although
in
I've been
Canada.
ripping on Canada for their COVID shit. It's a pathetic country right now, but it's still 50-50, I think,
for
for listenership, I would say.
That is
Yeah.
tougher. My wife's from BC.
Is she?
Yeah.
Does she love weed? No.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Oh, fuck.
Bro, that's
Who's
so
you guys, who's you
fucking
guys,
funny.
who's you guys' dream interview?
You. It's
I
done.
appreciate
we
that.
fucking did it,
Fucking
dude.
A.
This
I
is the last. We're
appreciate it.
done after this.
I appreciate that. I'll come on anytime. Anytime he's playing, he doesn't want to come on, you call me, I'll hop on for a week. I'd love to.
Just know in the fall during football
Dude,
season.
you Biz
I'd love
literally
to.
told you that he's so hard to get a hold of.
No,
He's-
but no,
I
but-
do this.
no,
Like,
but-
I know, right. People will all be like, "Hey, anything you need from me, just let me know. Just call me."
Taylor
And
literally
I
told
call
me-
them, and they call me, and I don't. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Yeah. Taylor was like,
in Europe and
Hey.
drinking whiskey.
Let's see how similar we are. Are you bad at drinking? I mean, drinking, Jesus. Are you bad at texting people back? I
ahead.
get texts. I don't return
Yeah.
texts. But do you do it?
I've gotten better.
I read the text and then I'm like, oh, I'll respond later.
Yeah, and you
And
put
I
the
just-
phone down, or I'll be in the responding.
mean
I'll be
to.
responding, and I'll put it down, and then I'll go back to their text 4 days later, and I have the text written out, it just hasn't sent.
I went to text a guy the other day and I saw I had a text from August 12th. I was like, sorry, I missed this, which I think I did, but I'm like, this guy's gonna be like,
Dude,
this
how the
kid's
fuck
full
do
of
you miss
shit.
it?
Well, I know,
Dude,
but like,
I have a couple
but you
friends
do
that are
miss
worse
it.
than me, and it pisses me off.
I don't take it personal
Makes
because
me
I
so
know how
fucking
I am.
mad.
It is a scumbag move, but I don't mean it. It's just like the kids. Sometimes the kids get in the way. I blame it on my children.
How old are your kids?
4 and 1.
Taylor does too.
Hey,
But yeah,
I'm
you'll get
4 and
kids
1.
someday.
Let's fucking
What's
go.
up,
Hey,
bro?
we are a lot alike,
Boys,
dude.
girls,
2 girls.
2 boys. They can
Fuck.
get after it. Oh,
It's like
don't
the
fight me.
perfect contrast. Hey, let's not. Let's fucking not. You don't want me as like a what is
Imagine
that?
if we were in-laws. Is that, what
How
what
would
are we
that
called?
be? Yeah,
What are
I
we
don't know.
called?
Fathers.
Want a drink? Yeah, let's go.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, I gotta watch your sons. I gotta go sit in this couch with them. Fucking sleep in
You
middle
know what? I
seat.
never play. I
Drinking
was.
Pink
We
Whitney.
had our kids when I was retired. It's got to be hard playing with kids, though. No.
It depends when you have kids. If you have kids right before season,
Oh, were they born in the season
They
or?
were born. My kids were born in July, so like the first 6 months of their life, I'm like low key not around.
Training camp.
And this first 6 months is like
Hi, I'm Dad.
such a shitty move. I'm kind of my least favorite part of having kids. Like that first 6 months, like
Oh,
the sleeping. My wife's a fucking all time. She's gonna see this, so I have like gas right
you guys
now.
get a night
She's
nurse?
all time. We have a night nurse every once in a while, but she gets up with those fucking kids, dude, and crushes it.
They're,
And
they're
doesn't
legends.
ask me to do
They're
a
legends.
thing during the season. Legends, absolutely.
It's amazing because I get it. I
Legends,
get
man.
2 hours with those kids, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
I'll tell you the
I'm like,
hardest
you
thing.
do 8 hours a day with them?
Yeah. The hardest thing about having kids, while you're playing is when you spend 6 months, you don't really see them because you're so focused on football or hockey. When the season ends,
You're in.
you're like integrating back into their life.
Yep. Yep.
And it's like you kind of don't know where you fit.
Yep.
And there's like a couple week period where like I had this anxiety because I think I have to be doing something. Like, why am I at the house all day? I have to go work out. I have to go do this. And it's like,
I
hey,
still
you got
fight
nowhere
that.
to be. You got nowhere to be right now. You're gonna be all right. And then it's like, you know, I tell my daughter something. She's like, "Mommy says it's okay." I'm like, "Fuck, really?" All right, well, go ahead then. Then she's played me, and she actually wasn't allowed to do that. Like, I got played by my
Dad's a
oldest all the
fool.
time. Win Rebel. That's her. My
She's
oldest's
a
name.
stud, man.
Win Rebel Lewan, dude. She.
Oh, what
is
a
fucking
name.
Stud. Oh yeah, all time.
WYNN?
E.
Oh, I like that. Good for
Yeah,
you.
her grandfather. She's named after Talon's grandfather.
I love well, I shouldn't say I love, like, I get home from these work trips we go on. We probably do like a 4 or 5 night trip. I don't know, 6 times a year. We got our street hockey tournaments. We go do interviews. And so I miss the kids so much. But when I get home after the 4 or 5 nights where you got your own bed, you're sleeping in, I get home, I'm like, game on. It's like, it's hard, right? Like it's
Yeah.
kind of the end of the season for you where you know, work's like difficult, but then you get home, you're like, full-time dad mode. This is fucking impossible.
Yeah, and then
But it's the best.
then you start playing like the victim mode in your head where it's like, well, why don't I get a break?
I
everybody
play
else gets to
victim
do
mode.
this. Everybody else gets to do that.
Like my shoulder. She's like, you don't even play hockey anymore, you pussy.
Yeah. Says that to your face?
Oh yeah.
Dude, my wife calls me a pussy every day of my life.
with your mood about your aches and pains. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm like,
Then you hit him with, you like this house? You actually paid for this house?
my past is paid for this vacation, honey.
Dude,
Oh,
that's
shit.
so fucking true.
Before we get off, talk about your relationship with Dave Portnoy.
Hate him.
Oh, he's a peasant. No, Dave's
You're always getting on a show and you guys just go toes all the fucking time.
I think we're kind of similar in terms of like really loving the like going at one another, or not even going at one another, going at anyone. I kind of enjoy like I'd rather have a podcast where we're going at each other than we're like all lovey-dovey. And so he's kind of like that. But I remember I first got to know him through like Twitter. Like I was a big fan of Barstool, like thought he was hilarious, and then started somehow like, you know, maybe a couple tweets back and forth to each other. And then I remember being like, all right, well, he wrote me one time. He's like, when are you going to come work for me? I'm like, I'm not going to fucking work for you. Like I took it like personally.
Yeah.
And I think that he probably saw like, all right, well, I'm going to give it to this guy. He's going to give it back. And it's a pretty good thing. But then as Barstool grew and like everyone just sucks his dick and kisses his ass, it's like, fuck you, dude. You're 5'7". You were good in high school baseball, but you talk about how athletic you were, but I'm 6'4". I'll dummy you in any sport, and you're trying to big time everyone. So I love the guy, but I know in every aspect besides like maybe comedy and like growing a business, I'm better than him. Seriously.
Why don't you think
I'm better than him at everything except for like
Why don't you
growing
think
a
comedy?
business, or like he's pretty funny, but there's times I could even go toe to toe with him in funniness. But I love him
And funniness.
in funniness. Like, you want to be funny, Dave?
It's
You got some
it's
good
so
fucking
weird talking about
stories.
like humor and like if you're good at it or
But I
not.
also remember like, so I was like I said, I love Barstool. So I was driving the old Milton office. I actually live like probably a mile or two from there now. But at the time, like all my buddies grew up in Milton, and I ended up living there. So I was driving through there and I saw him walking across the street. There's like a hardware store across from their old office. And I was like, Portnoy, you fucking pigeon. And he's like carrying like, what did he used to eat all the time? Panera. And he's like looking around. He's like, who's that? I was like, look at this fucking guy. But
You
I've
fucking pigeon.
always thought he's one of the funniest people.
Bro.
He's one of the funniest people in the world. And so I've actually, you know, been really thankful for him. I've told him that too. Like, because without Barstool, it's what everyone says, like, oh, Chicklets is a monster. I'm like, Chicklets is nothing without Barstool. I can openly admit it. Because we had their fan base as listeners. You know, it's like, if we're...
Steely's go fucking hard.
Yeah, Steelers are unbelievable. The most loyal fan base in the world. And I think that with Dave, like, he wants guys to give it back to him. Like, he doesn't want people to kiss his ass. But naturally, with how big he's become, that's just how it is. But fuck him. Oh, does Will kind of kiss his ass?
I mean, it's tough to watch.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Will.
you just
Fuck.
nudged over at me,
Jesus
dude?
Christ,
No, I
Will.
didn't.
We don't want that.
It's a hard deal to watch sometimes. He was on this podcast.
No, I think it's
It did all right.
You know,
Dave was on the bus?
I think I'm just
Yeah.
cool with everybody.
You're just a nice guy.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not.
actually, hey, as far as goddamn, I keep going back and forth on you. I'm flip flopping hard.
Go ahead. You can go the other
Will,
way.
as far as like a camaraderie guy, like a locker room guy, there's no one better I've ever met in my life who gets along with everybody. Even if he doesn't know somebody or he knows he's met them before, he'd be like, "What's up, dude? Good to see you," and like dap him up, and like you could just tell that person's like, "Yeah, Will loves me." It's like Will doesn't give a fuck.
Will
about
doesn't
you.
even
He
know
doesn't
you.
know you at all.
Oh, what are you talking
But
about?
that's a good thing.
I'm
He's
complimenting you.
Yeah, but
But
you're
I'm not
acting like
like
I
that.
don't give a fuck about the person.
No, you care about people, but it's like you when you come in with that energy, it's not like
Like
you're
Taylor
giving
stands
that
in the
energy
back,
because
he
there's
don't
that
give a fuck
special to
about
you.
He's lying to you right now.
He
Yeah.
did outside. I went to shake his hand. He goes, "No, get in here, buddy." And he
Yeah,
gave
and
me
it was
a hug.
awesome. He felt
And
kinda warm,
I was
right?
like, "Fuck, I love Will Compton."
It all changed. It all changed when his teeth changed. Before,
When he hugged me, I go, "Look at this fucking guy's white chips. They're whiter than those numbers right now."
Yeah,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
yeah, those things
Those
are
must have cost you
standing.
$30K. They look great though.
15.
Jesus. Got the half off deal through
Yeah.
the NFLPA.
Dude,
the only
that's
thing they've ever
fucking-
done
I wish
for
the
me.
NFLPA was that fucking useful. Fucking trash.
Dog, see, with the old teeth, you had to buddy up to people so they wouldn't just fucking
Yeah, but
roast you,
at
bro.
Old Teeth, you weren't winning people over near as fast. You
You
were
take
kind of
me-
like,
well,
hey,
yeah,
this guy's
people
gonna put me in a
just-
van
Yeah.
somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Where's this kid live?
He's like, that guy's really nice. Yeah, but don't take his candy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he gives you a drink, don't drink it.
People lean to Taylor, hey, how do you get in here with you?
Fucking A, dude. I remember when he first got those teeth. I never even noticed how bad Will's
He was
teeth
like
were.
the guy in Something About Mary. He's like, hey.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Well, he would act like nothing even happened.
Were they
Bro,
real bad?
I
Were
didn't
they
even
real
notice,
bad?
Bro,
They were
yes, look them up.
fucking
They
bad,
do now,
dude.
especially
17-year-old
now. 'Cause
jibs.
when you're around me all the time, people probably didn't think it, but I'm taking selfies. Look at that. I think this comes up on every pod now.
Oh, let me tell you
Put that,
something.
put the top row middle up.
You look like you went from meth head to like successful podcaster.
It's so funny you said that because back in Nebraska, my
Holy
boy,
shit. Where are you from?
Missouri.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a
exactly.
Missouri looking mouth. But
Oh
back when
my
I played in
God.
Nebraska, somebody had tweeted Will Compton looked like he's a meth addict. And my boy Nick had saved that tweet forever. So
Did
it's
the
just
left
funny
one get chipped? Tell me it got chipped. Were you born like that with the
you said
angle?
it. No,
Hey,
it
that
got
one had to get chipped.
I was chasing my little brother around the house and I tripped and fell into a door and went face first in the door, chipped it, stared at myself in the mirror as I held it and just looked at myself and started crying, bro.
Bro, those teeth look
No.
like
10 years
baby
old.
teeth. You know what I'm
But
saying?
then
How they
all
all
baby
kind of spaced
dolphin
out.
teeth?
Yeah.
All gum, no
Hey,
teeth.
look at this motherfucker, dude, with the nice ones.
Hey, but here's the thing.
That was the pose.
People will be like, oh, your teeth. Like, dude, why wouldn't you do this if you didn't like your jibs? They look amazing now.
The best
Yeah.
investment I've ever fucking
Oh,
had.
bro, without a doubt. And when he got them done, he tells me we're working out. It's the summertime, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get my teeth done."
I took a seven with you. You're
Yeah.
like, bro, why? Like, who cares?
He's like, "Oh, I got my new teeth done." I'm like, "Dude, your other teeth weren't that bad because you don't realize. Like, I don't look at you and be like, yeah, all right, his,
Personality, my
small
personality.
hands, big ears. I don't look at that. You know what I'm saying? It's just life now." And he fucking goes and shows me a picture of his teeth, like this picture. I'm like,
Like, that's what they looked like?
and I was with you yesterday.
That
and
was it.
shit
Down there in
happened
the
like that?
third row is what I posted. Like I said, like cable television, direct TV. Those two where I'm wearing the white tee, third row.
Oh, they look great though. Honestly,
They really look good.
Portnoy just got a guy from Rough and Rowdy new teeth,
Bro.
and you could tell.
Oh, I saw that.
It like changed his
He was
life. Like,
crying.
yeah, like you could.
Bro, it changes fucking
that was
everything.
Will Compton.
We
Oh
looked
my
buddy.
god, you were.
Look at that, bro.
Dude, you were like a 4. Now you're like a 7.5.
No, you got to give me more respect than that. I'm like,
Hey, 7.5 solid.
yeah.
7.5 solid.
It is, but you know.
I'll tell you though, like my ears are huge. I got one
They're
huge
really
ear,
not that fucking.
but I would never
really not
fix
that
the
big.
ears. You can fix teeth, but like you can't touch ears. Like if I got my ear pinned back, I'm not the same
Listen,
person.
if you can turn
But
it.
believe me, I'd love to
Pinned
get my
back.
ear pinned back.
You're
Hey,
just saying they stick out.
wait,
We got a Spittin Chiclets memes guy. He's so funny, so funny. He just started doing stuff online, and we found him like the hilarious memes. And I told a story recently. I lost my iPods and AirPods, and he put like the funniest picture of like basically it was an AirPod somebody was holding that was like the size of your leg. He's like, "Which AirPod he lost?" I was like, "This motherfucker." We found the guy. Now he tortures me.
bro, why don't you could pin your ears if you wanted. If you can turn a penis
Not
into a
doing it.
vagina,
I'm not
you
doing
can do
it.
whatever you want.
Time out. You can pin your ears?
Oh, bro.
People pin their ears
Hey,
back.
Will, you can take a penis and turn it into a vagina and vice versa. You can
That's
do
a
whatever
good
the
point.
fuck
That's
you
a good
want.
point. That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? You want a dolphin arm? You go ahead and fucking get you a dolphin arm. You can do
Well, he already
whatever the
has the
fuck you
dolphin
want now.
teeth.
Yeah, he had the fucking dolphin teeth. Whatever the fuck you want, dude. That's crazy. Shout out LGBTQ community.
a buddy I
Don't fucking
played
come at me, dude. I'm chill. I'm chill. I'm
Oh,
chill.
yeah, easy guys. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
not
be,
Dave
you can be
Chappelle.
admirals in the army. Just don't come at the Bussin' the Boys.
Yeah.
Hey, I had a buddy I played with, Jordan Eberle. He was in Edmonton. Now he's in Seattle, and he's got a wicked gap in his teeth. And we were like, "Oh, you got to get it fixed." And he kind of says, "Like, no, but this is who I am." And
That's
I
how-
kind
that's
of
how they try
understood
to
that.
fuck
Like,
get you.
everyone knows him as like Ebbs. He's got the gap in his teeth, but at the same time,
No,
you had
bro.
like cut off fucking meth teeth, so you had to do
Wait,
it.
and everyone was telling me, bro, don't do it. Like, this is you. This is who you are. Your personality.
be
blah, blah,
better.
blah. I swear, every fucking body, bro. Like, don't do it. And I was
If
like,
That's
someone
why you
looks
just
at
gotta,
you
you
with
just
those
do it,
teeth-
not even say anything to
If
anyone.
someone looks at you with those teeth and goes, "No, dude, this is you. This is your personality. You need to fucking hit them and break up with them as a friend."
just kick him right in the
Like,
fucking
yo, you
stomach.
think this
Like,
is
you
me?
think I'm a loser? This is me. I'm
That's
not
crazy.
Missouri Will. Oh my God, he fixed his teeth.
No,
he
it's an
went
April
back.
Fool's joke.
No, he fixed them when he first retired. He fixed them. This
Shut up.
This dude makes $20 million a year right now. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, you know who else?
I bet it's way more
you
than
know
that
who
now.
else is probably
Yeah, probably
making
is,
close
he
to
said.
15, 10 million is he was on the Lions. Now he's on the morning show for like CBS.
Oh,
fuck
Nate
outta here.
Burleson.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
crushing.
yeah, dude. He's been
He's
killing it.
blood, man.
He
Super
was on
talented.
Good Morning
He was
Football
interviewing
forever.
someone about the Russian invasion. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
Good for him.
Dude, he is
What
unbelievable.
the
He was on NFL
This dude's
Network's
electric.
Good Morning Football.
Yeah.
Like him, Kay Adams, who the fucking Pete? Pete Schrager, and then Kyle Brandt, right? Did I get all those right?
Oh, good shit,
Fuck
bro.
yeah,
Shout
dude,
out
I
all the boys
fuck with
at Good
that
Morning
squad.
Football.
Wow.
Kyle, dude, is awesome. All of them are awesome. But he was a part of that before he went to do that, and he was a pro. I went on their show a couple times. Killers.
Yeah, you could tell right away, like
He's talented,
Yeah,
man.
and for him, like it doesn't matter what you did prior. If Strahan and Burleson are on like ABC in the morning now, like that's just talent.
Yeah.
But the only reason I thought of him is because they're probably making 15, 20.
They're
I mean,
making a lot of
I mean,
fun, dude.
Romo's making 17 a year.
Dude, as he
Aikman just
should.
re-upped
He
to
calls out
17 and a
so much
half.
shit. He probably shouldn't because his NFL player's not making that.
You think?
I mean,
The guy calling the game making more money than
yeah, but
everybody in the
that's
team?
TV deals, bro.
for real.
I mean,
you
McAfee-
disagree with it,
McAfee-
right?
Well, it's like
I
don't.
think it's crazy.
I
How
don't
much McAfee
necessarily
and them are
disagree with
making?
it or agree with it. It's kind of like wild to think about. Like I don't have an
Yep.
opinion.
And I'm happy for him because
Yeah.
I never really like. That's the thing. I never like guys make more money now. I like love when players get money, and even after they play, I like when
Hey,
they get
okay,
money.
so
But
when-
it is like crazy.
When you first got in the NHL, were you like kind of selfish, like didn't want people to make money? Because that's how I kind of was.
No, I really wasn't. I
it's
didn't.
tough.
I didn't.
No, that's all right. Hey, living
No,
fucking
no.
life. This is me.
Yeah.
I was a selfish fucking prick.
Yeah.
Still am in a lot of ways.
No,
You
so
gotta accept
am
it.
I.
This is your truth, man.
So
This
am
is my
I.
truth, and let me
So
live
am
it.
I.
Yeah.
But I always remember thinking like guys would sign deals, and I was like, oh, if they sign that deal, I'm gonna get a big deal.
See, I always thought when dudes
Like, I
sign
was
deals,
like,
I'd be
oh,
like,
I can
fuck
play
that dude.
with
I'm
that guy.
better than that dude. I was like, I'm better than him. Fuck, why is he getting paid, not me?
Boys, men, Whistle Pig. The whiskey distillers at Whistle Pig Whiskey have cut loose with the boys. This piggyback barrel-aged craft cocktail in a can is so much better than a seltzer. It's crisp, refreshing, but super bold and flavorful. What you're looking at here, blackberry lemon fizz, just quickly. One weekend, one baby shower, climbed the ranks. I had about 6 of these boys, and I was ready to go. That's why you saw me at the Nissan game, getting hype with everybody. Blackberry lemon fizz is now my favorite. Fresh ginger lime kind of went to number 2 over the weekend because I had this thing cold. I had it on ice. I don't think there's anything like this out there. It's refreshing, bold, balanced. Whistle Pig takes on much more of a flavorful style, and at 8% alcohol, sign the boys up. It's made with 100% estate-grown rye from the Whistle Pig Whiskey Farm in the mountains of Vermont. Bet you didn't know. You know that, now you do. Who knew you could innovate with rye in so many different ways? The fruit in it is barrel-aged in whiskey barrels, giving it those subtle whiskey notes. Now, I'm a big fan of whiskey. Everyone knows I'm a whiskey guy. I got over 70 bottles in my house. Don't believe me? I'll take a photo and I'll post it. But this is going to be my go-to for tailgates out on the boat for a bonfire. Honestly, it is perfect for any kickback type of outing. I can attest to that. We just had a baby shower and housewarming party. Piggyback sponsored the whole thing. Everybody was out there with Piggyback Rice Smash in their hands. My favorite flavor is hands down, I already told you, blackberry lemon fizz. Visit piggybackcraftcocktail.com for more information and make sure you grab a box in select stores. Boys, I cannot tell you how imperative this is. I cannot tell you how important it is that you go to a liquor store or spirit store, whatever the case may be, especially if you're in Tennessee, because I know they're located in Tennessee. Go and get your Piggyback barrel-aged rice mash. And for the love of God, tweet us, tag us, all the stuff. We got some cool shit in the works, but it starts with you going and buying these cans. Do it for the boys and do it for the pig.
You were what were you? You were top 10
On what?
draft.
13, right?
I was 11.
11, my bad.
What is your signing bonus
He
for
got
that?
so mad.
That's still big
Yo,
dough.
that's fucking crazy. Bro, I had a shitty draft experience.
Were you the top O lineman?
No, I was a third.
Wow.
Yeah, they took this dude, Greg Robinson, number 2.
Oh, the guy in Cleveland, and he's a bust.
He's a bust. He's got busted for drugs again like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and he had a shitload of
pounds and
drugs
pounds
on
of
him.
weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge bust. And then at 6, Atlanta was picking. They told me like on Monday, they're like, "Hey, if you're there at 6, we're gonna take you." And in my head, I'm like, "I'm for sure gonna be 6. Like I'm for
That's
sure
me.
we'll be there.
I'm going
I'll
to
be there.
Atlanta.
I'm going to Atlanta. I'm gonna be a dirty bird,
You
dude.
in
I'm
the
stoked.
green room?
I was in the green room,
Oh,
dude. They go to pick. I'm so stoked. I'm waiting for my phone to ring, and the 2 tables over, Jake Matthews, who's another offensive tackle, gets
you
the
see
phone
his
call.
phone ring.
He fucking takes the call. And in the green room, you're not supposed to stand up. I get up and I fucking walk out. I was
You were that
pissed.
mad.
Hot, dude. And so, hold on, let me get this water. So I get up and I go down this hallway and like, you gotta sit down. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna sit down. And like in the green room was like Rihanna, the dad from Modern Family, and I might have been Drake. Like, you know how you kind of play shit up in your head.
Like, what's going on right now?
It was like a little squad in the middle of the hallway. And I met Rihanna like 2 nights before. And you know how like you meet some people sometimes and you're like, yo, I kind of left an impression. In my head, I left that fucking impression at the 40/40 Club.
Rihanna's gonna DM me.
I was like, well, I was hoping to God, but that wasn't really it. Maybe she'd be like, maybe we can be friends and she can friend zone me. And then I'll be there when they get through a breakup. And then I'll be the guy she can console. And then we'll be cuddling one night and she'll feel it pressed against her hip. And then maybe something will happen. That type of friendship. So I see her and she looks at me and I swear to God, she recognized me. It could be playing the Big Fish story. And she kind of looks at me and like turns and I give her and I keep walking to the bathroom. I fucking big time Rihanna because my feelings were hurt. I go in the bathroom and I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, you're a fucking bitch. You're probably not even get drafted. Like you've been punked.
Oh, you were
Where
flipping.
the fuck is Ashton Kutcher at? Yeah, you're gonna be nothing. And then
you know 7, 8, 9, 10 weren't gonna be taking O linemen? Like, is it?
oh no, no. Like the next one was like I think Tampa Bay and they needed an offensive lineman. Like I was just hot because I felt lied to. And you know, you take everything personal when you're
little.
little.
Find out why would they say that?
Yeah, I did, dude. It's so funny you asked that. One of the guys who was like an upstairs dude came and spoke to me during camp. He was like no longer in the league as like an upper guy. And he's like, hey, I was from the Falcons. Like, we loved you. And I was like, well, why the fuck didn't you guys take me? Like, what's the deal? And he goes, I think at the end of the day, like you were like from a talent level, like athleticism better than Jake, but they're like, you had too many off the field issues.
You were an off the field issue guy?
Oh yeah, dude. I had assault cases. I had a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Fights in college.
Yeah, dude. I fucking put some guy down.
Something like that.
We beat Ohio State, which is like the big Michigan Ohio State rivalry. Yeah, you know all about that. And we lost to Ohio State.
Oh,
and yeah,
we beat Ohio State. Oh, sorry, we
I
lost.
beat him one out of 3 times. One out of 3 times. Sorry, that pink Whitney. And we're going to like this place called the Brown Jug, and I'm walking out of the Brown Jug.
I've been to the Brown Jug.
Yeah, it's fucking killer. Do you know Perry, the guy who owns it?
No.
His son played. And he went to Pioneer and also played and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm going to the Brown Jug, and like my girlfriend at the time, my best friend from high school, and my brother are like getting out of the cab and walking in, and some dude's on a megaphone talking shit, talking about fuck Michigan, Ohio State rips, all this stuff. Will's heard this story so many times, doesn't give a fuck. He just wants to be on the phone.
He's texting like I'm in the best episode ever.
I got a dinner thing at 8. So I'm just gonna say
that's fucking wild.
Holy shit, I got a dinner thing.
So this dude, I don't care. I'm like
12
times, deep. I just had like I'm like 12 deep. I had a bunch of hams beer. So I'm like, whatever. I'm going in there. I'm gonna get fucked up. And this dude hip checks a pole and fucking eats it. And my brother starts like laughing at him, pointing in his face. And he's 29 years old. And him and his 4 buddies are around pushing my brother. And my girlfriend at the time was like, hey, your brother's about to get in a fight. So I walk out there and fucking hit this dude. Hit him so hard, he hits the ground and spins in a circle. And I'm like, I fucking killed him. He's dead. And so I went go back in the Brown Jug. And I'm sitting there like super panicked. I'm like, I got to go back out there.
Killed the guy.
Yeah, I just killed the guy. I walk back out. Guy who I hit's awake. There's a burrito place right next to it. He's eating a burrito. He's totally fine.
Oh, I'm good.
Cops out there.
I had a muffin of a punch.
Yeah. Turns out, my girlfriend snitched on me after I broke up with her like 3 weeks later to a detective.
Shut the fuck
Swear to
up.
God, dude.
What? She was mad you gassed her?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
She was a sweet girl, but just wasn't it. I didn't respect her enough. I didn't respect.
Wow. So then that case all cost you. So if you got drafted, at 6 as opposed to 11th, how much money did you lose?
By $4 or $5 million.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you made 80. Who cares? Holy shit.
Yeah, so I fucking signed 11 with the Titans. I was fucking hot. Then they had 2 tackles. So I was like, what the fuck are they going to do with me? Ended up
did they trade one or did you just beat him out in camp?
No. Michael Orr, you ever seen the movie The Blind Side?
Yeah.
So he was playing right tackle, funny enough. And then Michael Ruse was like the left tackle. And I didn't beat either of them out. I was fucking chilling on the sidelines. In my head, I'm like, I'm a bust. Like, it's over for me. And then Michael Ruse he got like a microfracture in his knee. Done for the season. Week 5. Week 6, your boy's in there.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Never left since.
No, all rookie team, crushed it. It was awesome.
Wow, just with 10 games too.
Yeah, well, actually, I played 5 because I got hurt in like the 11th game. So I missed the last 5 games of the year. I played 5 games. all rookie team.
Wow. That's crazy.
Before we let you go, because I know Will's got to go, talk to us about like the stages of hockey. Like, because with football, it's like it's super easy to figure it out. You go high school, you go college, you get drafted. If you don't get drafted, you go play like the Arena League or CFL, and you hopefully figure it out.
Not many guys make it to the show from that, though, right?
You can.
Gotta be.
Cameron Wake, who's a defensive end who played for the Dolphins.
Yep.
He didn't have it. He like didn't do anything. Goes to the CFL, becomes like all CFL, like Canadian Football Player of the Year. Goes down to Miami. I think he's had like you would argue he's a Hall of Famer.
You got to be like an anomaly to.
You got to be a dude that just didn't get it. Like has all the tools but just didn't get it, and then goes and gets it.
We don't have like a send down league like what is it, AHL?
Yeah, we
don't have any of that
there's
stuff.
East Coast League. Hockey's different because you get drafted at 18. So I kind of wish they'd up the draft age a little bit because college football, you got to go 3 years postgraduate from high school, right? So if you PG,
Yes.
you can leave after. I'm sorry, if you redshirt, you can leave after your sophomore year.
Yeah.
But so hockey's different. So there's a lot more guys in hockey that are first round pick busts because they're 18, and who knows in 4 years what they're going to be.
Right.
And there's
They
a
can't
lot,
legally
and
drink.
there's a lot more third and fourth rounders who end up really good because like they were 18 and they really grew in the next few years. Not grew physically, but as a player. So I would say like you get drafted, and even if you don't in hockey, it's not over.
Mhm.
Football, if you're not drafted, it's going to be hard. I sense,
Willie.
but
9
right. I mean,
years.
it's not that common. I feel like if you don't get drafted in football to end up making it in the NFL for 10 years,
it is hard.
right? So
For
hockey, it's
I'm
definitely
a beast.
it's not as easy, but you get drafted or you don't, and then you go and you're going to play junior college. After that, most everyone plays in the AHL for a little bit. A lot of guys even start in the coast. More and more, you're seeing guys start in the East Coast Hockey League, making it to the NHL because the league's getting better and better. And then you work your way up, you get your shot in the NHL, and that's it. But the problem with NHL now is, or not now, but I mean, you're a young kid and you're 15, 16 years old. If you're not a high pick in the OHL, which is junior hockey, there's OHL, Quebec League, and the WHL for Canada. Then there's NCAA for America. And kids from Canada can play NCAA and vice versa. But a lot of those kids, like, they get down. It's like, oh, I wasn't a first round pick in the OHL. It's like, dude, you're 15 years old. Like, it doesn't really matter. So I think in the NHL, though, you get to the first round. It means a lot. You can end up making more with your signing bonus. Not that much. They really changed the signing bonus and the money you can make. But you get more chances being a high pick. It's like the NFL, right? Like you're a high pick, you're going to get more lives like a cat. And then if you're a low pick, it's like if you fuck up, you're kind of screwed. So the levels of hockey, though, it's just changing with how watered down like different leagues are in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Harder now. It's more confusing on where to play if you're a young kid. When I was young, it was like, all right, go to one of these high schools, then go to college. Now it's like junior league here, junior league in Midwest. There's a Canadian league. It's just harder to choose, but it's still like, if you're good enough, so I tell every kid, if you're good enough, dude, you're going to make it.
What's the best route?
They'll find you. I personally think college is the best route. And Mark Recchi, he's an NHL Hall of Famer.
You can leave after 1 year in college?
You can,
Yeah.
yep, you can leave after,
nice.
1 year.
Yeah.
And you've already been drafted before you go to college. Some kids, because of their birth year, will be like drafted after their freshman year. But for the most part, I talk to guys who play junior. It's great, but you're living with billet families and you're busing long ass bus rides, especially in the western part of Canada. Like, you got 18-hour bus rides. College, like, you're living in a dorm with girls. You're playing unreal hockey. You're playing against older guys too. College has 20, 22-year-old players. So if my kids like hockey and they're any good and they have a chance to play college hockey or play junior, I'm gonna say go play college. And I left school early. I actually promised my parents I'd graduate, and I haven't. I got to go do that. I fucking have to do that. I promised them.
High school or
college? I left it for my junior year.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, now I
You have
have
your
like,
degree?
all this money. Why am I going to go back to school?
Unfortunately, I do, yeah.
Dude, you went back?
Unfortunately, I do.
No, dude,
You were able to.
I stayed for my fifth year.
Yeah,
like an
Michigan's a
idiot.
legit school.
Yeah, top 15 public school in the world. It's crazy.
Billet family, what is it? It's like a foster care type thing.
Yeah, so wherever you go, play. I mean, it's a little different.
But I'm saying you go to like a family who stays with you.
Yeah, host
family.
So
Okay.
there's families in
Yeah.
the city you play in that will take in kids, and
Fuck,
it's funny.
dude,
One guy, I won't say his
Yank me,
name.
bro.
He ended up marrying his billet mom. She left.
Whoa, say that again.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
saying
kind
the
of a
guy's
common
name.
thing,
I'm not
isn't
saying
it?
the guy's name. He billeted with a family. She had her husband, and in the end, she left him, and him and her got married.
What's his name?
I'm not saying. And then there's another guy.
We'll cut it.
Another
We'll
guy
cut
I
it.
played. Another guy I played with.
We'll bleep it.
Another guy I played with who married his billet's sister, which I always say is like,
I mean, it's
if I'm a
not-
dad, like, dude, in 14 years,
Yeah, bro, let's say it. Go down
12
that
years,
road.
when your daughter's 16, are you gonna take in a
His
16-year-old
son
hockey
comes
player?
over.
People are nuts. You got a 16-year-old daughter, you're gonna bring a 6-year-old hockey player into your house? No thanks.
Is it kind of like not that uncommon that billet sons bang the moms or sisters?
I think
like a
it's-
normal
I think-
thing.
I think it is not that common. I think
Oh,
it is
really?
not. I do not
I've heard
think
a
it's that
few
common. I think there's a
stories.
I think there's a bunch of stories, but in terms of like
Who's here?
being common,
Oh, okay.
it's not that common. Put it this way, my billet mom kicked me out. She obviously didn't want to bang me.
All right,
If I
fuck.
pin back my ear. Boys, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on here,
This is
busting with the
electric,
boys.
bro.
Hey, this is a
I love
solid
it.
little
I love
pod.
it. I love
Drink
it.
Whistle
I love
Pig.
it.
Piggyback.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
Thank
Also,
you so
yeah.
much,
man.
dude.
Don't drink Pink Whitney, and then make sure you get some whistle pig. Whistle pig. Yeah.
Outside or inside?
Outside.